I'll introduce to. There we go. Welcome to the Arcade Hangout.
And chop.
Where we sit on our balls.
You do. You wear sweatpants, you sit on your balls.
And then we blame someone else for it. Welcome, everybody, to America's favorite, longest-lasting arcade.
I like that.
Longest-lasting live arcade podcast, where we talk about our gets, our wants, and can't haves of women. I mean, of arcade machines. We are a group of friends right now, just a few of us, but there will be more, I'm sure, coming. And we like to do together once a week and talk about games and movies and how expensive Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is and who wants to buy a $200 lightsaber or not. We'll have to talk about that.
$200 lightsaber, is this like off of like the Keith's like a prop making site that he hangs out on, or what?
Well, this is the ones that you can get like if you go to the in the park.
Oh,
and you get my complaint is that they don't look movie enough real. That's just me because I'm a geek and I want it to look like the movie. I want I want light Luke's saber, or I want Darth's saber. I don't want some together thing.
Is this the thing where you can like assemble from like the different parts? Oh, I read something about that, but
and you can make your own. And it's a lot of money. And they have crystals, different. You get to pick your crystal, different color crystal,
Kyber.
The Kyber crystal, and they have different colored ones, the usual ones you'd think of. And when you put it in, which one thing is kind of cool is whatever crystal it is, that's the saber color that pops out. You don't have to keep changing the saber out like the collector ones are.
Do they have periwinkle?
Periwinkle blue.
I like paisley
Forest
pink.
Green.
Hooker's green, please. Yeah, no. They got the standard Star Wars colors and
broken
purple.
butthole red.
Yeah. And it does make a noise when you put the crystal in, and it does have the effect that the saber goes up, the light goes up. When you clash them, there's a slight delay, but they do flash white. There are some cool things about them. I just wish they looked like I wish you could assemble one that looks like Luke's exactly, or Darth's. They have similar. Yeah. They have similar. You can tell that what they're trying to make it look like that because they're trying to make them all work, the same. But when I did all the math on it, I couldn't believe how much money Disney's making off of everybody at 14 people at a time. Let me give you the quick math real quick.
So you have to do math?
There's math on this show.
Before all the heavy drinking.
Math
and drinking don't mix.
Simple no, it doesn't. That's why I wrote it down so I don't have to remember it. Okay, hold on. Let me find it real quick. Hold on. Oh, wait. I think it's in the other message thing. Keith and I don't know why Keith will text me in Messenger on Facebook, and then sometimes he'll do it through the phone. So I got to hunt two different places for our conversation that you're having. Or that too, right? So,
well, while you look for that,
go ahead.
I was hanging out on that. Yeah, let me just finish this real quick. I was hanging out on that prop forum site, and I've only just started kind of poking around there, looking for some Ghostbuster stuff since I'm working in that pack. And some guy since 2016, I think 2016 is when the thread started building a Battlestar Galactica Mark II Viper 1-to-1 scale.
What?
That's
1-to-1 scale. It's fucking insane. So he's rather than having arcade games in his garage, apparently he just decided to build himself a fucking Viper. He's probably gonna take it to cons or something like that. I don't know the users on the forum, so I'm just scanning through stuff. But that caught my eye. I'm like, holy shit! And he's pretty far along. It's been 3 years or so. But maybe I can find the link here real quick. I can post it in IRC. But yeah, crazy. Anyway, so sorry. Did you find your math?
Yeah, a little bit of it. Okay, so if they do for an hour, because basically it's 10 minutes to do the scenario where you build your lightsaber. It's about 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes to get people in and out. So every let's see, what is it? Okay, 14 people every 10 minutes is $2,800, and I would guess it costs them $100 in parts. All that cheap shit they use to make it in China or something. Anyway, realistically, they probably do 4 an hour. Takes 5 minutes to get people in and out, and then they take about 10 minutes to build it. If you ever watch the YouTube videos when they make the lightsabers, that's about what it is. But anyway, if let's just say Disneyland's open for 15 hours, they're raking in $168,000 just on that thing alone.
Damn.
Alone. And
Wait,
that's not
is that a day?
a day.
Sorry, I was looking in the forums for that
A
fucking
day.
link.
So times that by a year, and that's millions. So I'm not even talking about like if you don't decide to do the thing where you go through the scenario of building it, because you can't just buy the saber and walk on your way, I think, without doing this. I'm not sure if you can do that, but I don't know. That's some big bucks that they're making. And plus, if you build like a droid, that's $100. If you get one of the Jedi cubes, you put one of those crystals in it, and it talks to you. There's like an imitation Yoda going,
Someone you have, I would say.
Nice.
You're a Star Wars sheep, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's the money I have.
Gullible you are.
Big dum you is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $50 for a plastic cube. I'm like, oh, there's no quality there. That's another issue I have. I mean, people are like, well, fuck you, buddy. You don't have to pay the money for it. Well, yeah, I don't, but it'd be nice if you can make.
You're still allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, I got an opinion that should be nice. It could be nice.
Disney's like Palpatine right now.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my
design.
You're not getting people shit for spending the money. You're just saying it's more than you'd want to spend. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I want something movie accurate. If I'm gonna spend $200, that's
Yeah, what are there? I know, like they had like the Black Series, the Force Effects or Black Series like sabers. Were those supposed to be pretty good?
Oh, here's the thing on that. So there's not a black crystal, but there sort of is. One out of every 100 or something. There's in the red crystals, you'll find a black one, and they sneak it in, and you don't know. And they make you that crazy person's going to keep buying red crystals to try to find the black crystal.
Oh wait, so you can buy more.
Yeah, like Cracker Jack.
Oh yeah. This is
but people are saying online there's a way around it because it comes. The crystals come in this little container, and people are taking their cell phone light and lighting it from behind. And if it shoots through solid red, it's just a red crystal. But if you see a black mass, that's the black crystal.
And what's the black do?
All it does is it's just I think it makes a different. Does it make a different noise? It doesn't even make a different color. It doesn't even make the lightsaber black like it's supposed to, which is stupid. It's just bragging rights that you have a black crystal. And I think the Holocron Jedi cube. It says weird things, whatever. I don't know exactly what it says.
Is it like extra Sithy or something like that?
Yeah, it's probably extra Sithy or something. More Sith in your diet.
Reduce your bad LDL or the bad cholesterol with it.
So yeah, there's only one ride. The hardcore fans are loving it, of course, but there's other people like there's a post by Van. You've heard of her, the arcade girl. Yeah, she wrote this scathing review. I was just like, well, that's kind of what Keith and I were thinking, saying that like, well, she can't go on the ride because she gets motion sickness, but she's like, there's nothing to do over there. She goes, yeah, it looks nice and stuff, but when you really look around, it just feels like a big gross cash grab. It's just a giant gift shop everywhere you look.
But If you're not, so I'd say you could probably make that argument about Disney in general. If the magic of the location doesn't transport you there and make you feel something, like I'm inside the cartoon or I'm in this land of Disney. If the space is able to transform you there, that's kind of what the point is.
It is, but there's other things that piss you off though. Like, okay, you want to go visit the cantina. Well, even with the restricted amount of people they're letting in right now before they just fully open it up, it's a 2-hour wait for the cantina. And she said, if it's too crowded, the line's past that 2-hour mark, they have a person stand at the end and say, nope, the line's closed. Nope, the line's closed. Nope, so it won't go past the 2-hour line wait.
Right.
You get in there, you're allowed 45 minutes in. They only limit a certain amount of people, probably one per area to sit, just so it's not.
Do you get blue milk?
Oh, that's another thing. Let me tell you about the blue milk. But wait, that's in another area. So wait, in the cantina, there's all these like fruity drinks, like the Yub Nub and shit like that. Those are like $75.
Are you a nub gobbler?
Yeah, and you get
made up of like pureed Ewok.
And you get to keep and you get to keep the cup that looks like one of those little bird things, They do have a beer sampler that comes on this wooden think of it like a wooden stool, and it has holes in it, and it has these those teeth from the what was that monster that picked up Luke and tried to eat him in Return of the Jedi?
Rancor.
Remember that? Rancor teeth up all along. And you can drink each beer, and they're all like craft beers,
Wait, so the teeth are the glasses?
Yeah, it looks cool, and you get to keep that.
Huh?
And that's $75. The cheapest thing on the menu, I think, is a $15 beer. So
wow,
cha-ching! Now I do like that for the DJ that's in the corner. I was hoping they were going to put like the band from the cantina. Do you think they'd put animatronic? Yeah, they would play that once in a while, right? And play that's what I would have done.
It'd be like Chuck E. Cheese, except
in the usual cheap ass Disney manner. They repurpose, reuse Rex, the old robot from Star Tours. They stick him in there. They get not only an imitation Paul Rubens to do the voice. It's not even Paul Rubens. It's an imitator. Hey, here's the next song by
Oh, Jesus.
Boot to the head or whatever.
Well, I mean, it makes some sense. Maybe he got fired from Star Tours since that shut down, and you had to get a new job.
Now I do like that. What am I? But once in a while, he'll cut in and he'll do just like he does on the Star Tours when you see him. He'll cut in and do the Star Tours vocals once in a while. But I think they sound like they're a redo. But he'll say stuff like "comets, oh," from the old ride. Star Tours. You guys remember?
I only read that or rode that once. I've only been to Disneyland once.
Oh, okay.
I went to World once.
How about you, Jimbo?
Yeah, I've been to World once in Florida.
I think Carrie's been a bunch of times. But
yeah, my buddy Dave, so Zevious Dave, like he used to live down in LA and work down there, like Burbank a lot. And so
I don't have much of a desire to go back other than I'd much rather go to like Universal or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the ride is like the only thing that's open right now. There's only one ride, and it's basically a video game. I mean, you are in control of it, but it's the same route every single time. Same exact stuff happens, same exact animations. They need to desperately, I think, in a year, I hope they put more in there because that's going to get old fast.
Yeah.
There is a thing that if you do well, you're supposed to shoot lasers and knock out this glowing thing out of the back. If you pick up 2 of them, you get the extra scene. And when you get to ride in it a little longer, and it goes to an asteroid scene. Has like music from where Han Solo's dodging the asteroids.
Yeah,
there you go. No Necros. The routes aren't different. They're the same. I've watched a ton of videos on them.
I don't even, I went when I was in 6th grade, I think. I think my favorite thing was probably the Haunted Mansion. I don't know.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't remember much of the rides, like things like standing out. Like, wow, I couldn't do a ride like this anywhere else. The mansion was about the only one that I thought that really stood out.
Yeah, it's just Keith and I were talking about it. I mean, it's cool that they built the land, and we hope they put more attractions in. But it's just the greed of Disney is so gross that they do stuff like, oh, you can't go into Star Wars land unless you book a hotel with us, and it's $500 a night. And you got to book 2 nights minimum.
I'll go to Vegas instead.
and then you got to pay for the ticket in, you got to pay for all the food and all that stuff. So it's becoming, I hate to say it, but it seems like it's becoming a park of like, oh, only 2%ers can enjoy it. Have fun.
Right. Well, or it's like it's a whole family's vacation.
Oh, good luck. Oh, yeah. You got to save for 5 years and go.
Right. But it becomes like their big epic vacation they take.
Yeah. And then when you go in, it's so crowded. How can you enjoy it if that's your thing? You know, you can't ride everything.
You want to see Star Wars?
Oh, I'm afraid.
Star Wars Land is unable to
facilitate your request. Your friends are going to arrive. So
I like the Family Guy Return of the Jedi parody where he starts turning his head. Oh, I'm afraid. He like does a full 360, and then Luke or whatever Chris is like, "Guy, you don't need to be a dick about it."
Yeah, I know I sound like a real asshole talking about this, but
I
don't know.
It's fun.
I just wish it wasn't so grossly greedy, you know? Like they have like food items I'm hearing aren't that great. Oh, we're talking about the blue milk.
Oh yeah.
So I've been watching YouTube videos on people sampling it. I got the blue milk, and then they drink it. They're like, they go, it tastes like.
It tastes like it came out of the tit of a.
Yeah. They go, it tastes like milk. It's coconut milk, but it tastes like perfume in it with a tinge aftertaste of like an old raspberry or something. It's they're like, yeah. And they go,
why don't they just make like blueberry chocolate milk kind of thing?
Yeah, I know, right?
Make it delicious and be done with it. Why are you trying to be like galaxy accurate?
They could taste like strawberry quick and just dye it blue and then call it a day.
Right,
no,
done.
Very tasty.
But they're going the vegan route, I guess, right? And then you don't have milk, you get coconut milk, so everybody can enjoy it. So they're being PC. Well, they could do coconut milk with strawberry quick, right? Maybe.
That's right.
We should try that. I don't really like coconut milk that much anyway, but
it's weird.
Yeah.
Hey guys, speaking of SWAS, Gak just joined.
Yay, Gak!
What's up, guys? I'm still tinkering, trying to get stuff.
Cool. When was the last time
You're wearing pants?
We're talking about.
When was the last time you saw your balls?
Last time I saw my balls. Well, if I hold a mirror low, anytime I want.
It'll reflect off your Donkey Kong glass.
Every time I sit down.
Yes.
Gak, have you been to Disneyland a lot?
I have not been. It's been 12 years since I went.
Oh shit! How about you, Carrie?
Oh, it's probably been 26
years.
Yep.
Oh my god! So okay,
so my ex-husband and that for a while was married to after me to a gal who worked for ABC, so they got free passes. So whenever Taylor would go down to visit him in Southern California back when he lived down there, they would go to Disneyland. So I didn't have to do the Disney thing because my kid got to go so much she got sick of it. So she's like, Disney again.
See, I live about 45 minutes away from Disneyland. So in my youth, I would go once a year, you know, and I used to take my daughter all the time when we had the passes and stuff like that. So I've been a lot, and so is Keith. So you know, I don't know.
In the 70s, I went a lot. We lived in Burbank.
I'm sure Necros goes a lot. He lives near there.
Yeah, but like at the end of '79, we moved away. So I've only been there maybe 3 or 4 times since we moved away.
Yeah. I just don't know when I'll be able to go see it to at least experience it and go on the ride and see how it is. And so, do I have to wait till my daughter has kids? And it's gonna be so crowded for so long.
And then you'll be old enough to be able to go.
And then when you go at that time, nothing works anymore, you know, because they don't ever like fix anything. So everything like when you know the interactive stuff doesn't work, parts of the ride don't work the way they're supposed to, and just go on Indiana Jones and there's a whole bunch of things that don't work on that anymore that used to. Yeah.
I think last time I was there, I think Indiana Jones had just opened up.
Yeah, it was
the one
relatively
time.
new. I want to say when I went, and Tower of Terror was my coworker kept telling me I should go on that, but we just never got a chance to.
Yeah, they already changed that to the Guardians ride,
Yep.
so it's different than it was. But yeah, like Indiana Jones used to, when you first started out, there was 3 doors, and depending on what
you had three options.
and the doors would change, and you go into different doors, and depending on what door you went through, you got a different different audio and different stuff would kind of happen. And now you just go through the same door because those don't work anymore. You just go through the same middle door every time. They used to have this really neat effect. Well, a long time ago, the main room was had water down below. They used to use water and light effects to make it look like lava. And they actually froze a sheet of ice on the ceiling, and they would let it drop every time it would freeze. Every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it would just drop this like pieces, and it looked like pieces of rubble were coming down from the ceiling. And then the freezer busted, and it was too expensive to cut a hole in the ceiling to remove it and replace it, and all that shit. So that doesn't work anymore, So there's a lot of other things like that it's just not the same ride as it was when it first opened. So you want to go on these rides within the first few years, or else you're getting a half-ass experience on it. So
that's like I watched a video. What is it? That did Jurassic Park. The Jurassic Park ride, and how it was a comparison between like when it early on first opened and then like recently, and it was just terrible. Like so many things weren't like moving. Like, they're all limited. It just looked absolutely terrible.
I can't believe it. The engineering is so poor on those things that it won't last.
Well, because it's just doing it constantly every day. Like in Star Tours,
I know, but you build it to work that way.
Yeah, you should. Like in Star Tours, there's at the beginning when you first walk in, the R2D2's inside the speeder. This is on Star Tours, the spaceship that's sitting in there, and C-3PO is like pushing buttons. And every once in a while, the laser would overheat or the engine would overheat, and all this like steam shit would come out, and they would flash like light in it and stuff to make it look like it's going to explode. And after a while, of course, that doesn't work. And then you just hear the sound effects, woo, 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 but there's nothing happening. There's no steam. There's no anything. So you're like, well, what's going on? You went on the ride when it first opened, you'd see it.
It's like being at Science Museum, hit the button, and it's just audio.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work. The animation's gone in the diorama. What the fuck?
It's like going to a broke ass Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking about the Cantina band. It's like Showbiz Pizza.
Yeah, totally.
I'm thinking Bear Country Jamboree. They just converted that to the Cantina.
Excellent. Just put different heads on. That's it.
Put masks on the bears.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Perfect.
Oh, no, actually, you wouldn't even need to do that. You just give them like a bandolier. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like a blaster.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like they're like Star Wars.
I used to like Bear Country Jamboree because you got a chance. It was cool and you could sit.
And it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, you can still go on it if you go to Disney World, but it's gone out of ours. It's now it's the Winnie the Pooh ride. That sucks. But yeah. So that was a cool place to sit and be in air conditioning and if you want that, you got to go on Haunted Mansion where there's air conditioning. So
yeah, because your feet hurt and you're hot. And
pirates.
That was always like, it was just so nice. It was like,
it was a long show, long enough to relax and recharge your batteries for the rest of the day.
Yep.
You know what?
I like Mr. Toad's too.
That's still there. Yeah. Disney World got rid of Mr. Toad's and they're pissed. They got the Winnie the Pooh ride.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how that worked. And they're pissed because they love they even did try to do a petition, but Disney didn't give a fuck and they tore it out anyway. They tried to take out our Mr. Toads. We did a petition. And they tried to take out our what's the enchanted tiki room, with the birds that sing, the robot birds. Yeah, they tried to do that. But the petitions, I guess they listened for those and they didn't take them out. So
I do never have to go on It's a Small World ever again, though.
Yeah. Once is enough.
Totally enough for that ride.
One thing is worth going on if you haven't done the Christmas version, because they sing carols.
Oh.
And they dress some different costumes. And they put some new characters in, and it's worth going on at least once just to see that. But other than that, yeah, avoid it. Anyway, I've been yammering about Disneyland, and we forgot to do the disclaimer. We have a disclaimer on the show.
Yeah.
We need to present you, Jim.
Jimbo. Hello.
Hang on a second.
Oh, he's looking. I'm sorry.
So,
I
he's
forgot about
all
it because
quiet.
you waited too long.
More fluff.
well, no, I'll just say real quick, speaking of Disneyland, it's not there any longer, but I went to virtual Disney or something in Chicago. You used to
weird.
have like a virtual theme park in the large building, and it was really cool. Like it was like the virtual roller coasters, and it was fun.
Did you put on goggles or what? When you say virtual.
No, I mean it was the kind of like you were in chairs that moved around, and there was, I don't remember goggles. I don't know.
So it was a ride?
Yeah, there were a handful of them. But where they were rides, and you get in them, but like the roller coaster, you'd see, if you felt like you were going, but you actually were just in the chair that was moving around.
Oh,
and
so it was like a simulator ride.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that must have been what. Yeah, that's the phrase I should have used.
So you
it
don't
was
go on a track.
amazing. It was so much fun, and it was like I spent half the time just like, how are they doing this? How are they doing this? This is totally fooling my body. Like,
yeah, it tricks your mind that you're.
It does. It's crazy.
That's what the Star Wars ride is. The Smuggler's Run. It's the same idea.
Okay.
What it is you're sitting in the cockpit. It actually has the actual windows of the Millennium Falcon, and beyond that is a huge screen that projects. It's actually a video game. It's actually rendered on the fly graphics, and you are on a flight path, but you still can control in the facility. Remember Battle Pod in the arcade that we played? It's like that, where you're on a path, but you can still control it limited.
That's a limited control over it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they put obstacles in your way, and you keep hitting shit. Your score goes down and down and down, and everybody gets a score at the end, and so there's people.
Remember those old? Sorry to interrupt, but those old like Star Trek shuttle things they had at malls.
Yeah,
yeah. Those horrible little hot rooms.
It's like
yeah. But they kind of look like Starfleet shuttlecraft.
I wonder if that was something Carrie went on too. Did you go into any like a little car that moved around, Carrie?
It's been so long, I don't remember. I mean, that it could have, but it's been a long time since I was there.
Mm-hmm.
She was only 15.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're queued up. Jim, do you need to be presented?
Yeah.
Totally.
I got screen share too.
All right. This is
Here we go.
I have a feeling I know what this is.
very on the fly.
Oh, Infinity.
Please be advised that the broadcast you're about to watch has not been determined by any federal, state, or local authorities as being an actual show. The Arcade Hangout contains coarse language, stories of ill-advised conduct, and the occasional truly unfortunate nudity, the most common of which involves hairy ass cracks. Viewers and listeners of the Arcade Hangout will be subjected to the visual images and/or auditory sounds of chewing, drinking, vaping, and burping. Please note the hosts of Arcade Hangout may ramble ad nauseum, thus inspiring rage or boredom. Those sensitive to the broadcasting of such activities are advised to immediately cease and desist all participation in this podcast. As previously indicated, if you experience an erection lasting more than 4 hours, we ask you to please send us photographic evidence. And yes, you will be judged harshly. On behalf of all the hosts, we are sorry, but you have been warned.
No mention of a boner and taking a shit anywhere.
That's part of the bonus, footage.
Well, that's only version 1 of 3. There's different.
So
You say strike that, reverse it.
Yeah. So far, there might be more coming in the future.
We're gonna end up with like 25.
Yeah.
No shits and boners allowed.
Some erections are caused by shitting in the same room.
I'm surprised it wasn't in there. That'd be funny.
If your erection lasts more than 4 hours, make sure to flush your toilet.
Yeah, it was so damn funny when I spent that reverse the first time
Because it's still a shit.
Yes.
You gotta make the shit go away so your boner drops off.
Yes, exactly.
It's so damn funny. The first time that we played
that
that back at the faster speed, it was just with the tempo of it. It just worked out that like every time hairy ass cracks came up, I just started laughing because it's like so distinct out of everything. It's like hairy ass cracks.
Hey, Gak, does it count if your dog takes a shit in the corner of your room?
Is that that's kind of borderline bestiality then? Isn't it?
That's you're broaching brand new topics on this show.
We're gonna have to make a whole new one. Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta clean up the shit in the corner. It's giving me a boner.
Keeps bumping into my mic.
It's like old too. I remember that shit. The first time I got a boner from that one.
Oh my god, this show's low.
Do not send us. Actually, you have no way to contact us.
Yeah,
do
but
not send us shit.
They've been
pics.
warned. So,
Yeah.
so what do we care?
You've been warned.
We gave them our 30-second spot that warns everything. So
Facebook fucks.
Right.
You Facebook fucks, we give 0.
Those are the ones that were mad. The ones
I
that
wish I still had that guy's name memorized. I was like, I'm looking at you, Peter, or whatever. Yeah.
But thank goodness that they made those nasty comments on Facebook because we've had so much fun.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Right?
Lots of entertainment out of that.
Indeed.
Thanks for inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
It's made me want to eat even more on the show.
Burp and show my ass crack and
at the same time.
And apparently he was cool with like listening to it. He just didn't want to hear. Or just didn't want to watch it.
Right.
So
Oh.
Sorry for our.
I'll be sure to eat a salad.
Yes.
Get some spinach in your teeth.
Thinking spaghetti.
My favorite. Maybe some like almonds too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Can you vape and eat at the same time? Yuck.
Yeah. It's like people who like used to smoke and eat at a restaurant. And see people like.
I always like a Kramer in Seinfeld when he drinks a beer and he has a fucking cigarette in his mouth at the same time. You remember that episode? He's like, here's to feeling good. Yeah, exactly. Let me find it.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
You don't recommend it? All right.
Yeah. Well, no, you can play that. I just tried vaping and drinking, but
Yeah, we'll go together.
Oh,
speaking of drinking, I'm gonna go get a beer or something. I'll be right back.
Are we gonna get? Fuck. Should I just post a link? I don't want to get banned this early.
Oh, for Seinfeld. Yeah, just put it.
It's a YouTube.
Yeah.
All right.
Necro said, "Speaking of ass crack, where is Gleek?"
Yeah.
He's out to dinner with his wife. That's what he said earlier. TJ Flask in the house. He just said his tickets are booked.
Nice.
Aloha, or what do you say? Good day. Wow, so we're all just reading the IRC. This is
I know, yeah.
That makes for awesome broadcasting. Should I do my little ringer bit?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
let's hear it.
God damn, that's so funny. Not ringer, but yeah,
Yep.
ringer's a different funny. Yeah. I don't know what that means.
All right. So when I got Ringer, as some of you may recall, my computer had no battery charge, so it died before I had a chance to show very much. And so I wanted to do just a quick, because I had a few people be like, "Oh, can I see the
we're doing a tour?
Yeah, we're doing a quick tour. Yeah, or just a ringer
demo.
Tour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, so I actually
thousands
apparently
of people.
I got called out for not having games behind me the other week, which I thought was pretty funny because as someone pointed out, we'll do the quick walk around, although it's not pretty. Behind me is a monitor and Vectrex and like
how long has that monitor been sitting on that table?
Yeah, it's me. Oh yeah, I need to be represented.
Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're presenting.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that's getting recapped this weekend. That's
is that at 449?
Yes, I tracked 4900s like no other.
Well,
And
if you're going to attract a monitor, that's not a bad one.
that's a pretty good one. Yeah, that's when it's in Karate Champ, and it's going to CAX this year, so I wanted to make it extra pretty. All right. So, and since I don't think I've really shown, although the room's kind of a mess, but across from me, where I sit on the sofa, I do have Gyrus and Clax. And then over here we have iRobot, with hopefully some progress being made. Oh, I tested my boards. My boards worked.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Reactor. So that's the
Don't
house
slip
collection.
and fall down those stairs because you might damage the reactor on your fall.
Oh, I know. Well, there is a slight landing pad, so I have at least a little bit of a little bit of space, but that's true.
Do you get the dogs like hauling ass down the stairs and like hip checking it on the way down though?
Yeah. They're far more graceful than I am. I don't worry about them, but that is why the carpet's there, so they don't go.
Well, the reason why I ask is because like my big dogs, like there's a spot at the bottom of the stairs. So you guys have been in my place. Like there's like a 90 you have to take at the bottom of the stairs, and I swear to God, their butts hit that wall every time, and it's got dog dirt, not poop, not the British dog dirt, but like just there's their oil, and it builds up on the wall right there. Sorry, Reactor.
Ass slammers.
All right, so now I have a game in the hallway, but then I'm really maxed out. Now I'm done.
How heavy is this thing? Is it really heavy?
No, not particularly. No, it's
okay.
It's plywood. But no,
like
it doesn't.
Nintendo cabinet.
It doesn't look very deep either. It's not.
No, so it's actually what I can do is
it also dispenses cigarettes.
In 70s style.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70s style. Nice. So actually,
no, it's pretty light.
That's
unfortunately, I don't have a good I can get super far away from it. But yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of like.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's not as wide as me.
Less than
it's one of you.
Yes, exactly.
It's carry height.
And from the feeling of it, it's probably about 5'3". 5'6". I think it's about a 3-inch difference between us. So it was so this was a game that actually came. I might have mentioned this part. This game came up for sale. I don't know, probably a year or so ago. And I was like, oh, that's too much money. It's going to go down. So I'll just sit it out. But then a local snapped it up really quick. And I was like, I give him shit. I'm like, you didn't even have to give it a chance for it to go down in price. So he snagged it. It was desperately in need of refinishing, which he did. It was, the wood was just in horrible shape in terms of the paint. He did not replace the back glass. So that's one thing where I'm kind of tempted now to do that. But so I will show you. See if I can actually. The world.
I will show you the world.
And a blue Will Smith.
Yeah.
And no mid-drift.
Yeah.
Rip off.
So it's a very simple game. This is 1970. There's another one called Penny Pitch, which is virtually the same, just a different art package. So it is exactly the same. The Penny Pitch features women who are doing little pennies. This one.
Can you turn off your hall light?
I assume that was probably less than a quarter.
Would that be too dark?
Is that better that way? Or is it worse?
Maybe not.
I would thought it would give too much of a. Okay. So I will do a quick. So James, the guy I bought it from, installed a little credit button, but so basically you can do it as one or two players going against each other, and you just basically it is just horseshoes. So you kind of you spin. Oh, terrible.
Too graceful.
I know. I didn't want to
it's the same path. It's just you have to spin it just the right amount of.
Yeah, not too hard, not too light.
Yeah, like this one's too hard. I can tell already. Because you can see this. So this is the play field, and you're trying to get. I'm sure the focus isn't fantastic. I can tell it's all fuzzy. See if I can do an extra.
It just looks like horseshoes. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. And once you
can see it. We can see it.
And you get like one spin.
So you can set the number of spins that happen in a turn up to 10. So it's currently set to to the game. So this is set to 5. So this is I love that sound.
Cool.
So it has to land right on the base of the red pole thing there.
Yeah. So it will.
Okay. The stake.
That's
Yeah,
for
and I've
3
done
points,
a very poor job. Of actually doing.
I think you can get different points depending on how it hits. Like you can get a ringer,
exactly. That was if you get a ringer, you have 3 points.
Or a leaner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so 3 hits there.
I usually get a boner from those.
Not a wiener.
So it's the thing, and I would say the thing with this game is it's not going to be. It's much more fun with other people because you're standing there, you can have a drink in your hand,
and booze.
And booze, exactly.
That could be
too hard. It's the pressure of the show.
Said no woman ever.
I was gonna
too hard. Seabart liked that one.
Oh, nice.
All I heard was.
I know. I'm doing poorly. All right, 2 more things, and then I want to show you the guts of it because I think the guts are really cool.
That?
Oh, this is pathetic.
Like, why is it clicking? Like, what makes that click sound?
It's a actually
it's called a solenoid.
Yep, exactly. It's like the pin. It is pinball solenoids.
Oh,
that's exactly what's in it.
Wow.
It's
because that's the sound that it makes when you throw a fucking horseshoe. It's just clack, clack, clack.
Oh. So, and that is kind of that is part of the fun of it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the light back on.
I love you, but this is the sound of an actual pinball arcade game. It's not a MIM game. You cannot get this sound.
Hey, fucker! I've got 3 pinball machines, so.
Oh. Sorry about my sound. This is the original pinball right here.
You're talking about old school EM.
What are you standing next to, Chris? There a furnace?
Looks like a safe.
That doesn't look like a pinball machine.
I'm hiding in the back. I'm hiding in the back of work right now. So. So it's a Carrier Infinity. I'll get you the model name and number in a second there, but I'm hiding in the back of work.
He's on extendo break.
Nice, yeah.
It's called to have a half hour before I have to go out there and deal with the bastards again.
Oh.
Also, Carrie, that disclaimer, perfect.
Yes. No. Awesome.
Very, very well done.
Yeah, Jim did a good job.
I see the messages coming through and going, like, okay, they're together. It's coming. It's coming. The disclaimer is coming, masters.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked the way that Jim did it with the scrolling. Hold
on.
And I was like, it was.
Please help us. Help us. Save us. I'm hoping that switch only turns off the lights in this area. Otherwise, the bus is going to kill me in about 2 seconds.
Oh boy.
I don't hear any yelling. We're fine.
All right, so let me show you guys this real quick, and then I will be. So when you open up the back,
let's go back to Seabart.
Right.
Tell us more about that furnace.
Yeah,
it's a Carrier Infinity. However,
show us the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your tongue on it.
Yeah.
He's muted.
I think you need to present him.
I wonder if
oh, he got muted.
Oh, that might be my best mute ever.
Yeah.
He's just gonna keep going on. Carrie, that wiring looks like a nightmare.
Right? It's so cool. So, and I'm pretty sure that James had to have cleaned the score wheels there, but it's so cool because obviously there's no game PCB.
But with the age of that, is the wiring seem brittle? Like if you bend it back and forth a couple times, it's gonna break?
It's not. It's almost like it's covered in a string, so it's not like a regular plastic coating.
Okay.
And so, and what is really one of the things that I mean, first of all, it smells amazing. Like it just smell, it has
I'm
that old.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love the smell of old arcade games. And in fact, let's see if we can. So, Mock, you can see here's your. So when the wheel is spinning around,
Yeah.
so it's this. You have the solenoids here.
Okay.
And this is what
Is there any
and
way
so,
to like play a game and like spin it so we can actually see it doing stuff?
Yeah, I
from the
imagine.
back?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah.
your description. No.
No.
Maybe
So
at the
let me-
end.
Yeah, let me show you a couple things, and
Yeah.
then I think I can actually set it up right there, and we'll. I have a little thing. I think it'll
Yeah,
actually
it'd be
work.
cool to see like the score wheels turning
Yeah.
and all that stuff, magic happening.
I'll have to go back and watch it then. So one of the things I think is really cool is the dip switches. Are basically the different game adjustments are in different sections because we don't have there's no plastic moluxes or little switches to go, and so you actually adjust. So there's different game adjustments in different parts of the game. So this is basically where you control. Let's see, there we go. The high scores. They have them labeled. Right here is whether you get extra shots if you make a certain score, and I don't know.
But how do you adjust it?
So you pull. So for this one, you actually pull out these pins, and then you
like
move
jumpers.
it. Yeah, and then you move it into different places.
Yeah, it's totally a jumper.
Oh, that's a total old school jumper setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same over here for So you have to like when I wanted to change, so it would allow you to get the extra spins if you hit a ringer. That you have to I was going through going, okay, where is it, and kind of reading all the different little labels, which thank goodness are still on there.
Wow.
Yeah,
right?
and it came with. Did you tell them about the inserts?
No, not yet. So it came. Yeah, it was actually. Let me just show you the bottom. Down.
What the heck? What is all that? The power supply? And...
They're mouse traps.
Yeah, yeah, and all look at like the number of leaf switches. It's just.
Can you put your tongue on it?
Yeah. Right. So it's
what is
like
that thing on the left though? That giant long thing.
So this?
No, down below with all the blue little boxes.
Asking about the giant long things, Mom.
Yeah, what is that?
If it was brown, he'd have
The left half there.
Yeah. Well, so this is isolation transformer. Back here, we got the fuse blocks. We got.
And then what's on the other side there at the bottom towards the back? There's like six different things. Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
those are a bunch of solenoids, little bitty solenoids, and I can't tell you exactly where all of that goes. I mean, some of this is linked to the timer that's on it, but I don't know I haven't figured it all out yet.
And look at those discs that have little notches in them.
Yeah.
That's so old school.
And just a giant stack of there's just a giant stack of switches, right? Like the
leaf switches.
They look like leaf switches. But big ones.
That's exactly
and so based
what
on
they
where
are.
they're at. Yeah.
Yep.
It opens and closes those things. It's like basic logic. That's awesome.
It was really cool.
Huh.
Wow.
It is really, it's really, and so like all of this gets connected by, and this is the same as my base of that pitch and bat that I have, where, it's essentially what would normally be like our plastic moluxes instead are these long sets of pins that get inserted there. Oh, there we go. Now you can see it with me getting out of the light better. So yeah, this is basically this is just like a set of pins that are on this that you would plug in to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to disconnect this board.
Crazy.
Wow.
Does that tag say cabaret on it?
Cabinet.
Oh, cabinet. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So then this is.
I was like, they made two versions of it, like cabaret and full size.
You should see the cocktail version.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then, then what came with it is, as Jim was mentioning, so on the front there's all the different scoring cards. So it came with a whole bunch of different scoring cards, so you can see, you can make the different combinations based on how you have the game set. Okay. So there's, all these different ones that you can just slip in there for, what the different combinations would be. And then it also came with a, actually I'm probably going to frame this, is the old flyer.
Nice. Like
I have
the little 3-ring binder thing.
Yeah, exactly. I have the schematics, the catalog supplement B for Ringer. I love this, the instruction manual with the picture of the Williams factory there.
Wow, cool.
And even the envelope actually that's falling apart with all of the instruction cards in it. Actually, I'm just going to turn it this way. That it's like the original.
Awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Oh my god, it's all shredded.
Has all that stuff been like scanned? Is it available online somewhere?
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Actually, yeah. The all the stuff is Ken Layton on KLOV.
Oh, yeah.
Actually did that, and he even scanned these guys and have them in color and all that. So all of the I was curious because I was like, oh, I have this resource, but no, it's already there.
Awesome.
So that makes life easy. All right, so let's see. I think I can just set you guys here. And everything's a little backwards from where I think it would be.
That's your left hand.
Yeah. Like,
Stage right. Stage right.
Yeah.
all right. So I'm going to take my headset off. So I will not be able to hear you, but I will play a quick game. And hopefully, does that seem close enough, or should I bring you in a little bit closer?
Well, this way we see a lot more than.
Yeah, you can see everything from this.
Actually, I might be able to. Oh, I can't. I stretch. So this way, if you need me to adjust it, I will. All right, crediting up and starting the game. Woo!
That thing spins pretty fast.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there it went. Okay.
Oh,
I'm trying to figure out what the other
blue flash is.
The
blue flash
LED,
on the right side,
or the light bulb, I think.
But what is that?
Yeah.
But was it light
that
up on
one?
the front? Or is that
maybe
a
is it like a counter or something?
Yeah, probably has to hit a certain.
Yeah, Carrie, it'd be like on the lower left of the bezel. There's something blue that lights up on the front, I think.
Oh, I think that's the game character.
Okay.
Might be because if I did a
flashes.
2-person game, actually the person, in fact, this is my last one on this one. I'll do a quick 2-person, and then you can see because the two different. This wasn't original actually. The way that he did it is because this game was on location ever so briefly. Let me credit up. But it kept the coin mech kept jamming, and so he had to pretty much have it on free play. But he said that the kids these days people had trouble in knowing which person was supposed to go next, and so it actually right now on the screen it has first up and second up, but then he tied that to lights behind each character. So now it should be going kind of back and forth. Ooh, that was a hard one. That's what she said.
Don't say it.
Too hard. So now I'm going to be this. Now it will be the second player. So if it's on the other side, then that's what that was.
Nope.
No, it's still.
Nope. Oh. Oh yeah. Ding ding ding. Yeah.
So was that? Do you think it was always a quarter, or was it like a 10-cent game, or?
It can be a 10-cent game either. So there's
Okay.
actually one of the settings on this was part of it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Woo! Ooh, I got a ringer and I wasn't even looking.
That's the ticket.
That's yeah.
Put a blindfold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, spin the wheel and then move back to the game. I was curious what the
Yeah, and then the scoring, the other side, the second or the first one in flashes too.
Yeah, and then this is the kind of a closer up of the spinning. And you can see how it kind of bobs back and forth. Thus, if you go, wow, I'm doing I'm doing really well without looking.
So if anything like breaks, you can just order it from Arcade Shop, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
They have all these parts like by number, serial number. You just order it. Like, look at that! How custom that spinning thing is.
Yeah,
Totally.
All right, so I'll do the last couple ones. I'm gonna spin and then go down there so you can see the bottom part working too.
Yeah, you can see a spark coming off those things down there.
Yeah.
Almost seems like a fire hazard, right?
Well, I don't know what you mean. It's sitting here in this really old wood cabinet.
Yeah.
Just think if you made this all digital, it'd just be all on a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Get on that.
Some LEDs. I'm gonna name this thing.
Yeah.
You can mount that wheel on your fucking cabinet.
I'm looking for the wheel right now on Arcade Shop.
Yeah. You need one of those wheels to a mini USB connector.
Yeah. And then on Mock's main ring, he wouldn't obviously have the solenoid, so it'd just be a sound effect. I'll go plip, 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 plip.
Yeah. Click, click, click.
Oh, anyway, so there you go. That was the tour. That was the tour of the Ringer.
I like it.
Thank you. Yeah,
I love that game. That's fun.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
It's more fun in person than
some
watching
cocktails.
someone play it. Yeah, it's more fun to play it.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's
like
exactly...
I was saying, put dollars on the line, just like Warlords.
Oh yeah, I mean, my daughter and I played that for almost an hour at that one museum place because it's just gets addicting because you think you have it down of how to spin that thing.
Yeah,
make a bracketed tournament.
It is the classic of the just one more time. Just one more. Okay, I got just one more time. Yeah,
I got it. I think I got it now.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
See,
and I have it looks fantastic.
And I can see other parts of Carrie's house. I can see more arcade games that are starting to creep into the other parts from the garage down up here.
I know, right?
Your daughter's getting
bridging the space from the garage to the living room now with the Ringer in the middle.
Yeah. Well, and I'm like, oh, I'm out of space. I'm like, oh, but wait, I found a long, thin one. Okay, I had space for the long, thin one.
It'll fit right here.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, you guys can stop presenting me now. But yeah, there we go.
So Carrie will have an intervention when you start taking out like lamps and stuff, and it's all dark in your house, and
yeah. I only have cookies in my refrigerator.
Oh, nice. I don't need this table.
Yeah,
exactly. You can't even open the door because it's like hitting another machine in there.
That was like that. What documentary was that with the couple where they had games in the kitchen? They were moving like a dig dug in there.
Oh yeah, that was
Was that Chasing Ghosts? No,
that was the other one. The one that Keith's in actually. What is that called? Arcade Video Craze.
Oh, okay, yeah,
that's Video Craze. Yeah, and they were looking for Dig Dug for a long time. Yeah.
Hi.
Was eating on the disclaimer?
Yes, it was. Yes,
it's on every disclaimer.
Yeah, that one's on. Yeah.
Andrew's not breaking.
Hope so. I actually thought it was muted.
Andrew's not breaking any rules that we've established.
Nope, exactly. We've
salad.
Perfect.
Let's
get really close to the camera.
Yeah. What kind of dressing do you have in there, Andrew?
Smile on something here.
Present them.
It's a it's really a vinaigrette. Great salad though. Just a kind of romaine base, cucumber, some seeds. I'm not sure what kind of seed that is.
Seed. Like a sunflower seed.
Kind of a sunflower. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Delicious.
Yeah. Great story. Love it.
Cool.
I love that story.
So I've been getting mixed opinions on me removing black off the Robotron. Because I was gonna do the let's just fuck it. I'm gonna throw that citrus shit all over it and strip that crap and totally restore it.
At the end of the day, it's really your call. It's your machine.
Yeah,
what makes you happy. You know?
True. I know, and I got tons of people on what is it, on Twitter telling me no, it's good to have the original. It looks kind of cool with a couple of dings in it and stuff, and if you can save it, try to save it, and that kind of thing. So I might try another go at it. Just.
I mean, if you were to put a monetary value on it, I don't know if it would be worth more if you completely restored the outside, or if it'd be the same price.
Oh, it'd be, if I restored it, it would cost me maybe a couple $100, if that, and it would
all the hours too.
Yeah,
it is a shitload of work either way you go.
Yeah,
either way it's a lot of work. But if I really restore it, I just made it a $2,000 Robotron. but I don't really want to sell it though.
If you remove the black paint, is it a $1,700 Robotron?
No, if I remove the black
you're spending
paint, it's probably a $1,200 Robotron.
Well, so actually, so the real question: what's the
I think you'd be surprised.
It's okay as far as like the actual cabinet.
Yeah.
Where where the T molding is and stuff, that all is fine. It's just scratches on the sides from it hitting something.
What about the base?
The base is a little chewed up, but not as bad as like I've seen where it's like there's no water damage. It's just being moved around a lot kind of damaged.
But you don't have like blown out corners or anything like that you have to deal with.
I have a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit blown out. They're slightly gone, like a slight corner, maybe like an inch worth. So it's not great. It could use a restore on that, but
that would be like I said in Slack. That would be my deciding factor. Would be like, I mean, I like original patina. I'm totally one of those guys. I mean, if you can have original,
that's how the Xylo was too. Yeah, so the Xylo was like, I like the little bit of scratches, and if you can get that paint back there. That's what a lot of people are saying. Or like,
that's original paint.
It is original paint, and then I don't have to go paint it. But yeah,
but that's actually really cool too.
It is. It is cool.
Actually, the shit that went up there at Williams.
Yep.
So
you're right.
That has a certain sentimental value for me. But if the corners are all chewed and fucked up, and it's wobbly, or
it's not wobbly at all. And it's not chewed up like where I've seen it, where it's super bad water damage and it's like inflated and. Yeah. Pieces are flying out everywhere. It could use a new
shedding.
It's not shedding too bad. But yeah, it could use a little bit of work. Like the legs, there's four legs on it. Two of them are broken off in the
like the levelers,
front.
right?
Yeah, the levelers.
Well, that's easy.
So I could
to replace those. That's not really an original part kind of thing, but
yeah. So I might repair that. So yeah.
I mean, I just want to say I support you 1,000% about whatever you decide to do with your game. 100%. I'm not saying, but like there is, I agree, a lot of value of having the original stencil on there. And take it from me, stenciling. It's not fun.
I know. I keep thinking about that too. I have the horror stories,
You're saying.
So I'm like, all I have to do is scrape this black shit off, and I'm a happy camper. I'll have a Robotron with sides.
Well, then you go, look, that's the original shit, right? That's
shit
people like carve their fucking girlfriend's name into and shit.
Yeah, and it's tough to scrape off that shit though. Oh my god, it's awful. It's so the fucker went crazy with that paint roller. He went like 20 times with it. Like, stop it, you asshole.
No, I'm sure there's
feels so thick.
I'm sure there's probably faster ways to get the black paint off, but then you risk damaging
like I could put stripper, but then it might strip it all the way down to the wood, and because that's what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
And I have accidentally rubbed off a little bit of the original paint, just trying to get that damn black paint off. So I got, it's a challenge.
I mean,
So did you change your mind? So now you're. Is that what I heard? Now you're.
Well, I was on the fence, but a lot of people. I showed it on Twitter, and a lot of people were like, "No, don't don't. I'll show you. This is how much I've scraped off so far.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
see
I
the-
saw the photo.
Yeah.
So,
Got
so you
2/3
see the
one
black
side.
below the right.
Yep.
That black line is where the paint is. So I haven't completely finished it yet, and
Mhm.
it'll probably take another 2 hours to get that off. So maybe I'll just work at it a little bit every weekend. And
Well, you
got
can
it,
always
but-
let it sit too and see if it bothers if it bothers you after
the
a while.
fumes-
you know how I feel.
Yeah, I know. The fumes are bad too when you're doing it. It's just like I want to just throw up after a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever you're happy with. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, and you can see it in
Right.
person, whereas we can't. But it does. I mean, from the
Yeah.
photos, it looks pretty good. But yeah, again, we're not
yeah.
there.
Yeah, so we'll see. I might take another shot at it, and
My
need
OCD
a
would kill me.
Ton of
yeah, you like things looking brand new, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the back edge on
Ain't a
it.
damn
It looked. Yeah. For me, I know that would bother me because it looked chewed up on the back, and I'd be like, well, look at my fucking Cheyenne. OCD. That really did not need the full treatment, but I was like, well,
Look at your Toki
Right.
was a Robotron, and look how
Yeah.
nice it is.
well,
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of which, this old game does no longer sell Toki art. I want to put in a letter to corporate.
What? It was a limited run. What the fuck?
Yeah, I went there just to check it out and to see. I forget what I went there for. Oh, I know. I went there to go see how much a Robotron marquee would be because mine's pretty. It's kind of scratched up a little bit, and I was like,
I might have an original one of those if you want.
I have 2 Robotron marquees, but they're scratched up, so I don't know how.
Let me
is
check.
yours?
I know I have one. Actually, it came in the bottom of a what fucking cabinet was that?
Yeah, if you shine light behind it, see if you see a whole lot of like.
Well, no, you can tell by
stars.
the white mask on the back, like how bad it is.
Yeah,
and I want to say it was in pretty good shape, but
oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was debating on ordering one. If I was going to do a full, because I do have a new control panel. I'm going to be replacing probably this weekend, maybe,
New CPU.
or maybe after I do this black scrape stuff. But I went to go check on Toki art, and everyone I clicked on is like, we no longer carry this. If you're interested in this, let us know. Like
I
if
thought
they
it
get
was
it.
just kind of like per order, anyways. They didn't
Yeah,
stock
that's
any
what
of
I
it.
figured.
So yeah, maybe they only
Yeah.
ran a couple and that was it. And so I don't know. We gotta ask.
I think
Kendra.
it's too. I think it's so custom that I
Yes.
think
It is pretty custom.
Yeah, and I saw on their site where they said something about discontinuing or temporarily discontinuing some custom work or not doing custom things. And I think they're still in the kind of the regroup phase, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if that stuff makes them any money, because it's so custom.
Yeah.
They probably make more money on doing a million Miss Pac-Man templates.
Yep.
Shit like that. Oh, I did go there. Oh, that's why I went there. I went there to go get to see how much the template was for Robotron. It was
the stencils?
125 buckaroos
Yeah.
for a
Do they
piece
have-
of paper.
It's actually 3 pieces of paper per side.
It's 4 actually. It's 2 for each color.
Well, per side.
1
yeah,
for each color, I should
Yeah, yeah.
say. Yeah, the blue
Right,
and the
that's-
red.
right.
So, so how did you pick your silver white paint? Did you just guesstimate, or did you find a website that tells you the right color it's supposed to be?
I went for a. It was a metallic finish because I really wanted because I was doing something like custom, so I wanted a really bright metallic, and it was an automotive finish.
Mm.
So yeah, it was super pretty. The silver was awesome.
So do you think that had anything to do with why you had problems with it, like bleeding and shit, though?
Nope. It wasn't the paint's problem. Well, it wasn't the paint's problem. It was the fact that we ran out of red.
And then you left and came back, and it sat too long?
I had to leave it for a week because I had to have the red custom mixed.
Oh, no.
So I had to go back to the auto parts store. Well, not as an auto parts store, auto paint store to get a new batch of red mixed. And it sat in a garage for that week, and the temperature was warm. So it probably got up 80, 90 degrees in that garage easily.
Ugh.
And basically, when it pulled the mask off, it left all of the adhesive behind. Fucking destroyed
Oh,
it.
man.
Yeah.
What a pain.
Yeah. I mean, that if we'd had all the paint that we needed at the time to do it, it would have been gorgeous. But we didn't, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
Oh, NG Flyer says, why don't you retouch the scratches and leave the rest original? The reason why that's hard is because it's really hard to match that damn paint on Robotron. It's a really weird white color. It's not quite white. It's not quite silver.
It's an off-white.
It's not quite gray.
Yeah, and I would say too that then it's not original to the cabinet
Then
anyway.
why not just do the full?
Why are you keeping the original paint?
Yeah, if I'm going to go
it was
that
just
route, I'll
a
just
couple
do the
little
whole thing.
spots here and there.
I'll use a big long scrape across the top.
But no, it's like either live with the the patina.
Yeah.
I love that word, patina.
Fucking kill it. And
when Carrie wrote the word
don't
patina in Slack, I started laughing.
Yeah,
that's like
patina.
touching it up. Touching it up. It's like doing a Todd Tucky.
It's like the Whiz.
That's what Todd Tucky likes to do, doesn't he?
Todd Tucky gets a hospital
marker.
I laugh.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. He's got like clogged
Did he really?
arteries and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's all fucked up. Poor guy. But
Doing better.
He's
Sounds
doing
like
better.
he's-
He's out. Yeah. I don't know if they drilled out that shit or not though. You got to be careful with that because my dad's not even an overweight guy. He's actually a thin guy. He's like tall. He's like Andrew, but not quite as tall. But he still had artery clogged in his neck, and they went in there, and a piece of it shot through and went to his brain and gave him a stroke. Thank you very much.
Fuck.
He lost his arm and lost half his body for a moment. And he had to go through rehabilitation. Now he can do this only, actually with his right hand.
Wow.
But the rest of his body came back, thank God. But he's never been quite the same after that. All because they did the drilling through the artery, and he was fine before that operation.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to do that with Todd, but that's 3 of them they got to do, I guess. Someone wrote in chat they had 3 clogged arteries. I didn't know that. I just know he had clogged arteries. So, yeah, that's rough. So, anyway, hope Todd makes it through.
Yeah.
As much as we make fun of him, we don't want him to die.
No. Yeah, and it did sound like he was doing well, and recovery was good and all that. So that's good.
Fat, skinny.
No, it's actually a real thing.
I've heard that before. Yeah, unhealthy, skinny people.
Yeah, like they like to look at him, you're like, oh, that's a total like thin dude. He's probably in shape, but it's like they eat like crap, but their body just doesn't hold fat, but it's still has all the same problems inside.
Yeah,
cholesterol levels.
Yeah,
so high. Yeah.
Right. You eat, Taco Bell and shit like that every day, and it's like, yeah, you're all like, yeah, skinny, but
well, a lot of it now is just risk. Does your family history have a risk of heart disease versus just numbers? They're moving away from looking at just numbers. Like they're finding that fuck, you can have a 385 cholesterol and not be at risk for heart disease of any sort.
Yeah, and there's people like my mom who eat great, are super skinny, but have high cholesterol genetically.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So she's
weird.
My mom's that way.
Yeah.
Luckily, like I'm very, very similar to my mom in looks and kind of like a physiology, but like she has cholesterol problems and I do not.
See, I'm overweight / fat, but I have really good cholesterol. I have really good numbers on all my stuff, which is weird. And my wife gets so pissed off at that.
Stop giving me shit about my drinking.
Yeah. And like she's like borderline like diabetic, like on the just about, and like I'm not even quite close yet. So I'm like, she's like, that's not fair. Like, no, it's not.
No, pass me that milkshake.
Yeah.
Give me another slice of bacon.
Give me that Taco Bell with the liquid cheese. There's the liquid, right?
I got no time for hard cheese.
Yeah. Add one more chemical to it, it'll turn to plastic.
Right.
Perfect.
I can pour in animals with it.
It's like lube for my arteries. Makes that shit run through faster.
Then you open and cheese comes out.
It's like squeezing your arm, like got some cheese. Gross.
Taco Bell isn't really like Mexican food, but I still like it. Because I get real Mexican food being married to a Mexican, but like it's
sometimes you just gotta have a chalupa.
Yeah, because that's like American Mexican food. I gotta get that crunch wrap.
There's a place for it. It's good.
God, that's a while. We've had a few beers. It's
all right.
good.
So my wife and I met up before earlier, and we wound up just going to a convenient place to eat, and it was Jim Boy's Tacos, which I think is kind of a West Coast kind of thing.
Jim Boy's is good.
Yeah, it's like
Jim
Taco
Boy
Bell,
D's.
but more authentic. But it's still fast food, greasy, bad for you, I'm sure. But my wife was so upset because they like had old pictures on the wall from like the history of when Jim Boy's first started. And one truck said authentic Mexican tacos, and then another truck in the sign said authentic Spanish tacos. She's like, "There's no such thing as Spanish tacos."
I know. I never heard.
Why do they have that? It's because they were like worried about the word Mexico or something back in the 50s or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously,
highfalutin
Spanish tacos. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Hispanic.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. They got to be PC back then.
Yeah.
Jim Boy's has it with the like you almost have like a little bit of that cojeda cheese on the outside of the taco shell.
Yeah, it's kind of like Parmesan. They kind of powdered Parmesan or something. They kind of sprinkle.
Yeah, but I think it's like I think it's like
is
cojeda.
that what it is? Okay.
I think so because that's more of a crumbly Mexican cheese. Oh
Yeah.
my god, they're so good. They're not like the shell. The like I think they fresh fry their shells.
Mm-hmm.
That they use rather than like having the ones that Taco Bell uses where they cut the package open and then plop them down. Yeah, no, that's good. No, Jim Boy's is that's good stuff. I wish we had one over here. Back when I lived in Auburn, there was a Jim Boy's across from where I'm from my office, and that was good times.
Very tasty and delicious.
Hey, Gak, did they ever put in a Freddy's near you?
No, that's the burger.
The custard place. Remember
the custard. No,
remember that?
No.
It was
that's
that
the
place?
one in Idaho, right?
No, it's the one that you liked that you talked about where they have the ice cream custard, but they also have like cheese fries, and they got those hamburgers that they
smash, right?
There's
one in Idaho.
There is?
Near Grinkers. Yeah, not too far from there. Yeah.
Okay,
that's where Man Mike Mann told me that I got to check it out. We went
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is he? Get him on here.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't been on in a long time.
Yeah.
Is he out of the hobby or what? What's going on with him?
No, I think.
Is anyone ever completely on?
No.
Yeah, I know. I see Griffin dipping his toe in.
Yeah.
That toe off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's sure selling his games for a high dollar value though.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I want to.
Well, if I'm going to sell it, I might as well try to get.
He's just a regular coin-op warehouse. That guy.
I want to drag it there for $5,000.
when we were trying to guess like how much he spent on his theater.
Yeah, and, we're trying to figure that out.
Some other couple of you guys had a dollar figure. I want to say, I'm like, I bet it's more than twice that. And then Keith is like, no, it's way more than that. And I'm like, holy,
it probably is. I guess $10,000, but I don't know.
Then I was saying 20 plus, and then he's like probably more like 35.
Yeah.
Well, plus I didn't take into effect that he's buying high-end audio and high-end projector.
And then Keith showed us that link of the guy who's in Southern California. There's a YouTube video of it, and he's like got this insane home movie theater, and then a pinball setup in his arcade and all that. And I'm like, holy shit! They were just talking about like the sound. There's like this kind of coffered ceiling section that was all soundproofed or whatever, and they said they spent like $1 million just on that part of the ceiling.
Oh, geez!
I'm like, that's freaking insane! God. Too much money.
I mean, so you can like jam out in a movie, but like not bother anyone else in the whole house. Is that like
I guess I don't know,
or is that for actually acoustics in the space?
Well, there's the what do you call them, audiophiles or whatever? People are like, like the sounds are like super, they're anal about all the perfect sounds or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool because then you don't disturb like your wife when she goes to bed, and you can watch.
I mean, that would be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
crank up a fucking movie or like do this fucking show.
Have friends over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charge them
show in the
$20
theater
a
room.
ticket.
How many times I hear, "Why are you screaming? You're in a room by yourself."
Yeah. I'm a little worried. I have one of my garage doors open and my back door open right now to try to get some breezeway through. I'm probably have to close it pretty soon.
Yeah, if you have your garage open, your neighbors across the street, it acts like a funnel, like a microphone almost, and they can hear like even if you just talk normal, they can hear every word.
Yeah.
I sometimes want to set up like a camera and just point it like outside like my door just to be like, I wonder what the fuck I sound like with my neighbors where I'm just all by myself and
in the
and I've got
hallway.
headphones on and all of a sudden I start raising my voice because I want to be heard over like everyone else. And I'm like, good God, I'm like a fucking, even if I'm not drinking, I sound like a
No, it's like we're using our bar voices. This is like we're screaming over music and other shit going on, and we have no idea.
Yeah, fucking weird.
Yeah.
So there was a couple things I wanted to talk about, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, is this we need to
I was
talk
talking everybody's ear off last week. I was pretty lit, so I'm trying to
good reason
tune it down a little tonight. So we talked about. Oh, actually, I want to talk about this other thing first. So do you guys know Nutball Champ on KLV?
By name.
No,
Yeah, Brett.
I don't know him.
So his handle is Nutball Champ. So he's from the Bay Area, San Francisco area. He effectively retired from his day job. He worked for Pixar. Like he was one of the first guys that started on Toy Story. And so I think, and his wife actually. And so they, were successful with that. And eventually he wanted to move out of the Bay Area. So he sold his house and moved up to Bend, Oregon. And now he has an arcade up there that he owns, a public arcade called Vector Volcano. Mm-hmm. And so he goes to Grinkers. I think he's been like the last 3 years in a row, something like that.
What?
Yeah. So he's a really cool guy, fun to talk to.
I like to chat with him.
Yeah, I went to his arcade a couple years ago. It's a really cool arcade. He's probably got maybe 60-ish games. It's in a really popular downtown area, like walking distance from Deschutes Brewing, if anybody knows that brewery. But so anyways, he posted a link today on KLV, and the name of it is Toy Story and Tapper. And so he goes into a story and he has a couple screen grabs. So he says he said 1996 or something like that. He was working on Toy Story 2, early stages of it. And there's like a prospector character that's a toy in the movie.
Yeah. Yep.
And so he only owned a couple arcade games at the time, but he was really getting into having an arcade. And so his kind of artistic design behind starting the prospector guy was the side art on Tapper. So the character that's, pulling the tap handle on the side art, who's got his kind of mustache that kind of points up on the sides. Mm-hmm. So he even shows a screen grab, like the first scene that you see that toy in the movie, his mustache curls up on the sides. And he said that was totally from Tapper, and he created that graphic. But then he said, as their team grew that was developing the movie, they went through some changes, and then his mustache pointed down instead of curling up. That they thought that looked more like a prospector or whatever, I guess. So it's really cool to see that and for him to talk openly about that. Because some of these people, some guys want to be real private about kind of the stuff they've done in other industries and stuff. So anyways, if you guys get a chance, look it up. Toy Story and Tapper, he talks about on KLV. So yeah,
I'd like to look that up.
Yeah,
that's
really cool guy too. And then the other thing I was going to talk about, we talked a little bit about it last week, was the guy when we had Arcade Jason on. I think maybe we talked about it briefly. There's a guy in Florida who decided to set up an auction to sell like 100+ games from his like doubles and triples of games. Did you guys see any of that stuff?
He had a lot of duplicates, so he's
he had a bunch of Vector games and some rare stuff. But yeah, he decided to set up an auction like not with any fees. Yeah, because normally you have to pay upwards of 20 or 25% fees when you go to an auction. So he set his up as no fees at all. Everything has to be cash, and you have to be present. And it started out as like he thought maybe 100 people at most would show up. But I think it was close to 300 people wound up showing up. But there is another thread some other guy posted that actually has like the prices of the games. I was kind of surprised. Some of them actually look like they went really cheap. I mean, there's some $100 games in there. You know, like
Necro says it's the guys that were on Arcade Radio. Was that this week?
Yeah. Yes,
I was actually on that show.
Oh, were you?
I was on the IRC. Yeah.
Okay. And I caught a little bit of it later. I haven't watched or listened to the whole thing, but I did catch some of it later.
It cracked me up how they made them sit and wait until they got through all their crud before they would interview them.
Yeah,
I think as long as I mean, yes, I guess if they didn't let them know or if they weren't familiar with their format, I could see like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they're like,
but I guess if they know,
waiting,
because they're right. It's about 45-ish minutes, I think, before they actually start to talk stories.
Well, their intro to the show is like 5 minutes all by
itself. It's a long intro, yeah. But no, they're playing like games where they play like a song from the 80s, and then you got to guess the artist and the song. Yeah. And you get a half point or a full point, and they play a sound effect from Karate Champ. You know, full point.
Yeah.
Half point.
I was just like, wait, don't tell me. Some kind of NPR thing.
Nice.
All right, was that too highbrow?
Yeah, I didn't get that.
That went over my head.
No, if I got the reference, it's not highbrow at all.
So I was just in the IRC with DJ Flask, and we were chatting.
Cool.
But yeah, because I was off all last week, so I caught the show. I'm usually at work still when they're doing their thing earlier, because they do earlier because they're East Coast, so they started at like, I don't know,
5 p.m. ish.
5 o'clock. Yeah. And I'm still on the freeway, so getting home.
Yeah.
But so interesting. So they're auctioning off all their dupes.
Yeah. So there's one guy who he's got like 300 or 400 games, something like that, and he had multiples, and so he decided he just wanted to sell them in a fast format by doing it that way, I guess. So, but yeah,
that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
So they had a whole bunch of vectors behind them.
The one that I'm like, I think even somebody commented in our Slack chat earlier, was it Arcade Danger or something? I think the reactor.
Oh yeah.
Working 100% sold for $2,300. That's cheap, actually. That's really cheap. So that's really a $5,000 game now. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of those prices seem really low.
Andrew, I think you'll like this one. Rastan actually sold for more than Kickman.
Wait, what? How much did Rastan sell for?
500, and Kickman sold for 300.
Wow.
Wait. Oh, okay. Now here'd be an impossible build, but a turkey shoot cabinet. So assume an empty wooden cabinet sold for $65.
There you go. That's fair. Because putting the guts of that together,
you're gonna spend more. Yeah. And finding the gun.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna find those feathers.
The gun for that game, jeez. Or the board alone.
Yeah.
Fuck. Who's got I'm sure
there's a monitor.
Wait, actually, wasn't Time Runner? Wasn't Mark Shields looking for a board for that game for the longest time?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and I think he got one. I think he got the other. But that cabinet is it says cabinet, so I assume no boards. Might not even have a control panel.
Right.
Or how about his announcement?
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like I saw that on Facebook and Twitter. I want to say, and he mentioned it to us. I want to say, like he was talking about working on
it for like a while. In passing that he was working on an arcade, but yeah,
I don't know when his release date. He's hoping to have it ready, but so he's in Texas somewhere, Houston area. I want to say he's gonna open his own arcade / Back to the Future memorabilia place to go visit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he called it an event center. Like you can
event center. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So he's got all the stuff. So but it's still a lot of money, I imagine.
And a lot of work.
Hopefully he's got $100,000 or a couple $100,000 laying around. 'Cause I imagine it would cost that to really go all in with that.
Yeah, because you were talking about full size replica of the
like
Clock
the clock
tower.
tower.
Courthouse.
Courthouse.
Yeah.
He should just jump in his DeLorean and go fast forward to avoid all the work. Build it.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait,
Oh,
I
my
should've did
arcade's
this-
finished.
No, he'd be going. Oh, this is a terrible idea. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at the bank just about ready to withdraw the money, and then another copy of himself walks up to him and says, "Don't do it. It's a mistake."
Just all fucked up and no.
Don't do it, man.
The future Biff, right?
Yeah.
He's got the knocking him on the head with the stick or whatever, the cane.
Hello.
Hello.
They wanted me to build them a bomb, so I took their plutonium and in turn gave them a shiny bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts.
Actually,
It's Leaf, you idiot. It's Leaf, you idiot.
Yeah.
Not get out of
Sounds so
here.
stupid when
You
you
sound
say
like
it
a
like
fool
that.
when you say that.
while I was working on the Ghostbusters pack this weekend, I actually watched all 3 of those movies. Just had them playing here. Such great background music.
That's a good background thing to do. Yeah, that's coming out really good, Andrew. By the way, I didn't get a chance to comment on that.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
it's doing good.
A quick mock-up. I've got a
Is
lot.
Everything's glued together though, right? Well, I guess not.
No. I'm still because the thing is, so the kit is a kit, but like I'm using a lot of other parts. So I'm using like all the lights, like the kit lights are shit. So I'm using the actual proper hat lights and stuff like that for it. And so I'm having to figure out ways to get those in. And one of the biggest problems with the Anovos kit is they do things where it's like they'll have there's all the wires and tubes, for example.
So what's Innovo? What is that's like
Anovos? They're a company that builds. They do like replica stuff.
But they're cheaper than if you go through like new
like fully built up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like literally, you get like a box of parts and shit like this. Like for example,
Anovos, that's the other one.
Right? Anovos. I don't know.
Anovos, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but that's I just keep saying Anovos. But like they'll have stuff like where it's like you're supposed to take a tube and basically like butt glue it to something.
Oh please.
Right. Well, that's not gonna fucking last.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been spending a lot of time like drilling things out and getting connectors set up so that they'll actually hold stuff together. I mean, you could probably put it together the way that they ask you to, or the instructions, which are shit, by the way, tell you to do it. But yeah, I feel like it'll fall apart the moment you like actually pick it up and move it. So yeah, I've been doing their stuff, and then I'm retrofitting in the GB Fans electronics kit, so the sound and light stuff for it. So it'll be a fully lit, sound affected. Press the switches all work and do different things. And
so what's crazy is I saw you were posting that in our Slack chat.
Yeah,
and it was like I want to say an hour or two later, I was flipping through the channels. I don't remember if that was Friday or Saturday night. There was one of the channels I get. It was like the background story of the making of Ghostbusters, and they actually talked about the packs, and they were like. They were so heavy, and people would exaggerate stories.
Yeah,
and there was some interview with Bill Murray, and he's like, "Oh, it was like 200 pounds," like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, Ernie
Hudson,
yeah. So he said something like, he's like, "Oh, it was around 40 to 65 pounds, somewhere in that
40
range."
seems about right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. If you pick it up right now, and it's not even.
And then they showed like kind of close-up shots. I'm like, holy shit, that's the same picture Andrew was just sharing. The green, the army green, like kind of straps and stuff.
The Alice pack, yeah.
So I think that kit you have, Andrew, is the same kit that my friend uses. They used to do the create their own parts and stuff, but it's easier just for them to order all the parts and just clean them up and build, right?
Yeah.
So. When they built when he built one for Ernie Hudson, I know you guys heard this story, but they met up with him at remember when the Ghostbusters video game was coming out for the 360? I don't know if you They did make a Ghostbusters game. All the original actors came back to do the voiceover. This is when Harold Ramis was still alive.
There's a PC version of that game, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yep, I have.
Anyway, they got invited to come down because they had the proton packs and the outfits, and they even have the ambulance that's all decked out and everything. Anyway, they got to meet Ernie Hudson. He was there, and Ernie asked them to build him one so he could have one at the event. And Ernie said that the prop looks exactly like the one in the movie, the one that they did. So they're hardcore, where they really examine all close-ups on the movies, and there's even, I think, differences between movies too. But most everybody goes off Ghostbusters 1. Yeah, most people like to go off 1 because you get the close-up in the elevator and some other things. But
I think everyone wants a Ghostbusters 1, but I think that so all the packs from this is what I've gathered. So all the packs from GB1 were converted for GB2.
Because
there's some changes where it's like they had to make them all uniform. So like there's like goofy little things like there's like a knob at the top of one of the packs, right? Well, in the first Ghostbusters they're gray, but for GB2 when they were building the packs off of the packs that survived the first movie, the hero packs and the stunt packs. They couldn't get that same knob, so they found a black one. So they made them all black, or something along those lines. So there's it's definitely huge differences. But the thing is like if you go, so like Sony has one in their lobby of one of their corporate offices or something like that, and so people can go and take pictures of this screen used pack in the lobby. But it's been converted to Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, so they got to use
because all of them were converted to Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So there's a lot more high res shots that you can get of the Ghostbusters 2-pack. The best 2-pack. The best ones you get from Ghostbusters 1, I think, are screen grabs from the movie, but unfortunately, they're not that very high resolution.
Yeah,
so getting all the details correct, or
I would look online, but then you don't know which pack you're looking at, I guess. But
yeah, and I'm sure there's guys out there who can tell you that. So there's 2 packs that I've seen detailed photographic kind of like collections of, and one is the Bill Murray pack that survived. I don't know who has that right now, and the other one's the Sony pack. And so. And I'm just kind of taking both of those and then trying to figure out what the differences are between Ghostbusters 1. And I'm not going to go for, it's not going to be perfect screen accurate, but it's going to be like
pretty close.
only like the guys on these forums would fucking know the difference.
Yeah, hopefully. You go, hey, wait, I see that you use this for this, and well, it still looks good though. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so like stuff like the like the Clippard valves. I'm using the original Clippard valves. So the actual electronic components that are on the pack. So there's plastic replicas that are available in the kit, but I threw those away and I'm putting in like the original stuff whenever possible.
Oh, that's good.
Some the Dale resistors. It's all that stuff that I can do. I'm trying to do it correct.
Okay.
Nice, Gak. That's very hazy looking.
Yeah. DJ Flash was asking about it.
Sarah and Island Pirate are going to bed. So good night, you guys.
Thanks
for joining us
together.
Together. Necros is asking if there's a Ghostbusters documentary. I'm talking about the one that you recommended.
DVD extras or
no, that other one we watched. That was kind of cool. The one with the fans that.
Yeah. I don't remember what that was called.
Yeah, I don't either. That was cool though.
That was on one.
It's on Netflix or something a while back. I forget what it was called.
The Ghostbusters thing I saw, I can't remember the channel I saw it on just the other night, but they talked about the scene with Sigourney Weaver. I think that was in the second one where she sits down in her like couch chair and then the ghoul arms go up and grab her.
First movie.
That's the first.
The first one, okay.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how like she is a famous actress, and these are just kind of like extra kind of guys that are working behind the scenes.
That's like
and they were so nervous to grab her boobs, like they didn't want to touch her. So,
but they probably can't even see
the first few, yes, because they couldn't see in the first few cuts that you could see like they're kind of awkwardly grabbing her, And then she's like, hold on. And she just like grabbed their hands and made them touch her boobs, basically.
Get over it.
Okay, now we're over it. Yeah. So
supposedly Sigourney Weaver is supposed to be a super funny girl, even though she doesn't, or woman, she doesn't get the chance really to do comedy. She usually does like drama and sci-fi and stuff. But I've heard on the set that she's supposed to be a really funny, down to earth, woman. So I could totally see her doing that. I mean, that sounds that's hilarious. Just get it over with. Put them on my boobs. Yeah, okay, go.
She's not like a big busty woman. She's pretty.
Yeah, she's like
they talked about scenes that they were filming in New York City that they didn't even have permits for. Like they just started filming in random areas.
Oh, really?
They're like, okay, let's hurry up and do these takes here.
So guerrilla filming.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think where that is. I think it's like NBC or one of those. It's the ice skating rink and it has like the gold statues kind of.
Yeah.
I can't remember that location, what it's called.
I know
I've
what
seen
you're
it in
talking
person, but they were filming a scene there, and the cops started showing up. And they're like, "Wait a second, you guys have a permit? Who's in charge here?" And they're like, "That guy over there," and it was, I don't know, one of the guys kind of in charge, and they were kind of like waving at him, like, keep him busy so we can finish filming the scene. And so he's like, he just kept talking to the cops and like, yeah, I swear, I thought we were okay. He just like kept going on and on while they were like finishing filming the scene. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Can't get over that shit anymore, I don't think.
No,
probably not.
They do it in LA all the time, though. They're always guerrilla filming in LA. That's
really?
Those independent films, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's funny, though.
And they talk about driving around the Ecto with the car around town. They'd film a scene where they're like taking a corner kind of fast. And Bill Murray and whoever the other guys are in the car with them, they're like, let's keep driving it. And they're like cruising around other streets, like after they film the scene. Like taking on their fire.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, the guys I was just telling you about that go to conventions and stuff, that when they take their ambulance, their Ghostbuster ambulance, it's apparently, I guess, since they put all the mods and stuff on it, I guess it's not street legal anymore, because it still has a siren on it. I guess that's not legal unless you're an actual paramedic or cop or whatever. So they do get pulled over once in a while by cops, and they let them know, hey, this isn't street legal. Hey, but can I get a picture with you?
Right, exactly.
And then they usually let them go. They don't even give them a ticket.
Because I think they have blue lights, and blue lights are one of the lights you can't have.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have that. Yeah, but they want to be authentic, so they just don't run it. They'll turn them on when they park, and they even have the tray that pops out.
Yeah, with all the packs on it.
Yeah,
which I think is like the coffin thing.
Some slider.
It's so when you pull out a coffin out of the back of a hearse.
Yeah,
because that's what the thing is. The hearse.
What a freaking boat that car has to be. You just see it like roll,
gas
like
guzzler.
It just rolls around the corners when it turns. Like it's just a huge,
it's like a tank
car.
too. It's
yes,
like old. You could drive that thing through a house, probably be all right. Yeah, they're really hardcore, but yeah, they brought it over to my work once, and they parked it in the parking lot. We all got to check it out and check out his props and stuff. And yeah, that was really cool. And they even had sound effects and stuff too. On like, of course, all the proton packs all have sound effects, but even the ambulance made sounds and stuff too. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, just like that.
One of the switches in the proton pack actually plays the song, and I will never fucking hit that button.
So when you're done with the proton pack and you put it next to your pinball table, take a picture of it, then you can sell your pinball table.
Then I'm gonna sell the table. Sorry, the table.
Oh, sorry, table. Oh, I gotta get my thing here. Shit. This is a pinball table right here. It's a table.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Two headbutts on the table.
Pinball table.
Table to the head. Table to the head.
Yeah. Pinball machine.
That's right. So then I'm gonna sell my pinball machine and the proton pack as a package deal. Get the shit out of here.
I've heard people say pinball table on pinball channels on YouTube.
That's right. 12 grand. You can have a proton pack and a fucking
Okay, so Andrew, if you sold
Andrew naked wearing the proton pack.
That's right. Oh my god.
Okay, Andrew, if you sold
just from the back though. Just
if you
from the
sold
back.
Ghostbusters, if you sold Ghostbusters pinball machine, what would you buy for a new pinball table?
That's
A
a good
pinball
question.
machine.
No, 20 Zaxxons. You get 20 Zaxxons.
Or one Zaxxon, right? Aren't those going up in price?
That's a sleeper
Yes.
hit.
God, I doubt that.
I don't know. I need to play Black Knight. I haven't played it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Guardians a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
Right. So like new pins.
We should have another event at Keith's house, another pinball tournament, and you can play it to your heart's content at Keith's house.
That's
Wait,
see
if you really want it.
Black Knight or Guardians?
Guardians. He's got Guardians, and he's
he
got
has a great music mod.
that is so sweet. That mod. Yeah.
And it's funny. I mean, I love Ghostbusters as a movie better than Guardians, but like I just had such a great time with that thing, and having much more music than the one fucking song might make me like it a little bit better.
Oh, and if you have the mod, I mean, it's got like all the songs from the movie are in there.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a huge difference.
Oh, it's a night and day difference. It's a must do mod.
Yeah,
for anybody that has that machine. That it's got everything. It's got Beatles. It's got ELO. It's got it's got that. It's got wow. Keith also has the Batman 66. That's a really fun game.
I played that one a few times. I do enjoy that one, but I don't think that would be one that I want to own.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd own that either. I like it, but I don't know. Carrie would own that one.
It's funny though. But playing that, going to Keith's, I would actually own Guardians over that one. I love the theme. I love the theme. But Guardians is such a fun game.
It is.
That I walked away from that evening going, actually, I would change my wish list and switch to Guardians over Batman 66.
Are you getting tired of any of your current pinball games that you have?
No, the Tales from the Crypt continue. It vexes me a bit because it has some issues where balls get stuck in between plastics and. So it's just it's always been a little problematic, and that one's definitely a kind of a simpler game of the three that I have. So I mean that would be the one that would definitely be on the chopping block, but I don't have any urge to put it on the chopping
nice
block.
Pun.
Yeah,
chopping block.
Yeah.
And how about you, Jim? Where are you at with your saving towards, and what are you looking at right now? Maybe
savings going well. I think I'm gonna be if it continues, it might be in possibly depending on what I end up going for. It might be in a position to buy late this fall.
Nice.
Nice.
But the thing is that the pin that I'm curious about, I haven't been able to play. So I haven't been able to really actually put any time into Willy Wonka.
No.
God damn neighbors fucking smoking. I'm going to talk louder to piss them off.
So there's this really cool.
Just go piss off the balcony.
Oh yeah.
No,
actually, I get them in the summer with Bondo dust.
Exactly.
And the winter.
Yeah.
But so up until now, the only pin that I've been really excited about has been Houdini until Willy Wonka was announced for the theme. But I haven't, me and Carrie played it for 20 seconds. Yeah. So I can't tell you. I don't remember a goddamn thing about the game. So I need to put some time in it. That's about the only contender right now. My all I know is that I'm going to buy a brand new pin.
So Monopoly's off the table now.
New in box.
I think so. I think if I had space for more than one, it would still be on the table. But being that I only have space for one game,
machine, not table.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So Jim, there's this app. Do you have an iPhone?
No, I don't buy into that.
Okay, well, they might have it on the. They probably have it on the Android or whatever. But there's this app that I use. It's called Pinball Map, and it'll look at your location and tell you where all the pinball machines are.
Yeah, and I have a pretty good idea. I just don't think Willy Wonka's really been released hardly at all yet.
Not really yet.
And because there's a place called Tilt, not far from me in Minneapolis that has like 30 or 30 some pins, and if you go, they update their site quite often, and they don't have one yet, but they have a lot of new stuff. Yeah. It's I would imagine it's similar to Free Gold Watch where Carrie's at.
Mm-hmm.
They have leagues and stuff there, and
yeah, they'll probably get it in as soon as it's available. I heard it's not going to be ready until, I heard October. That's awful. That's true, but
that's not bad for me. I guess.
Okay.
If it turns out that I'm interested in that game, I love the theme of it, but we'll see.
Everybody says play it first, and they love it even more when they play it. So I want to definitely check it out. Jersey Jack games are very expensive, in my opinion, but they're supposed to be higher quality, better builds.
I think they really vary game to game, though.
Awesome rule sets and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for is their kind of thing, but yeah,
because my buddy Chris Rhodes, me and Carrie have talked about this. He's got a collector's edition Wizard of Oz, and we've played that a ton over at his parties. But it just doesn't, like, the theme is great, but the gameplay is just, it seems real shallow and not which there's a couple other games. It's hard to find. That's probably the biggest challenge is finding a theme that you like that also has gameplay that you enjoy
that's the trick.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you there's so many pins that I absolutely hate the theme, but it's a fun game to play. And then vice versa, where I've been let down. I'm like, oh, I love the movie, but man, this sucks. That sort of
Carrie's got some really good machines. I mean, she's got Twilight Zone and Lord of the Rings and Tales from the Crypt. I mean, those two pins that she has, the Lord of the Rings and the Twilight Zone, those are like top 10 or something on the list of like best pins ever made. That's popular.
Yeah, I like how different they are too. It's a nice, since I have limited space, limited money, limited collection. And I like they're both cool games, but they play very differently.
Totally.
Yeah, I like that you own them too, because 2 of the 3 were on my
save you a lot of money.
Yeah. So Carrie, when are you gonna get Willy Wonka?
Yeah. And that theme to me has zero appeal. So,
woohoo!
Yeah. So that one's safe. I'm not.
You're not a Willy Wonka?
Yeah, but Batman 66 had a lot of appeal, and you're now disinterested in that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I love the theme, but unfortunately not. Just I like it, but there's other games I like better.
Now we played. Going back to Jersey Jack, we played. Was it Pinball Expo that we played? Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
and that was a very fun pin to play. But I absolutely am not into Pirates of the fucking Caribbean.
I agree with you.
Rebrand it, reskin it as a generic pirate game. No, take out the Disney Johnny Depp, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning, there's like what 30 people you can choose from, to play as. I'm like, you don't need this. That's
like, who gives a shit about some pirate that was in the background?
That's one thing. That's one thing.
That's what they do, though.
Jersey Jack. That's one thing that I've noticed Jersey Jack likes to do. Like The Hobbit was the same way as Pirates, where there's so much shit on the LCD that you can't even really tell what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Well,
like you don't need it to be that busy.
They do it because it's for the home market, sort of. So it's like you'll get it, and when you get it home, and you'll it's part of the fun is figuring it all out. But it's not user friendly for like in a bar setting. You'd be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Exactly. I see 2 screens. I see one this that I have to get this close to, and then I have this one, and then
Yeah, you spend 10 minutes scrolling through. Okay, wait, now what's this
What?
option? Now wait, which
Yeah.
one was it that had more for the bumpers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
at some
what
point
do
you're
I
just
do
like, ah,
next?
fuck it. Let me hit this. Let me hit the lit up button.
Yeah, hit what's lit.
Yeah.
How about you, Gak? If you were going to buy a pinball machine,
Oh,
what would you buy right now if you had
They
the money?
don't require cap kits.
If you had $6 grand,
right.
$7 grand, what would you
Oh
buy?
man, oof! Like a new pin?
Anything you
I
want.
have to think about that.
Anything you want.
I mean, the first one that keeps popping in my head that I really had fun with was Who Done It, but I
Yeah.
probably didn't play it enough to where I'm like, oh, is this like get boring after a few hours? I don't know. But the few times I played it, I just really enjoyed Who Done It.
Well, that's a
It's-
90s pin, I think.
Yeah.
it's a cool.
I've never
it's
played it.
different. It's a
Yeah.
fun little different game. No, that is a fun one.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
kind of sticks out.
Safecracker is kind of weird too. That's a weird one.
I've not played
That
one.
seems like that was meant to be like a redemption kind of game.
It was. A little coin would pop out and roll
Yeah.
down the table. I can say table for that because it is a table and it rolls down, and then you catch it, and then it would have be like a collector's coin you get to keep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I just don't get to play pins that often to really make the decision, you know. I was gonna jump on a Godzilla recently, but I was number 2 in line, and
Joe snagged it.
Yeah,
but he's
it
been
used to
looking
be
for
his.
one for a long time.
Well, it was his. He sold it. Some
Yeah,
years
he
ago,
always
so-
regretted. He told us he was regretted selling
Yeah.
it, and he's been looking for one ever since. And then he
Yeah.
got it back. So.
I mean, it sold for I would say half of its normal value, so it was a really good price.
Yeah,
It's still a butt clincher for me. I'm kind of like a $200 to $300 buyer, you know.
Yeah.
And pins are no, they're like in the thousands.
Yeah,
So-
You're like
on your games,
drinker,
like-
Steve. Yeah.
What, Andrew?
I'll just say, like, if you could like, you know, put together like a few arcade games and like put that into a budget. to
Yes,
help
I
you
know.
with-
Yes,
then
I've
you
done
could
that.
maybe
That scenario's run through
there.
my head like 100 times. You know,
right.
Yeah,
You're buying like $50 games, and you're like, all right, I'm selling this for a couple $100 more.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know, like you build that up, and then
Gak should have at least one pin, I think.
I
You
do.
know,
I
everyone's
really
got
want to
one.
find one. It's I you know, I can't go. I mean, really, honestly, probably 1,500 is probably be my max, which really limits my selection. And it's gonna have to be like one of those, like Godzilla.
Street
you know,
Fighter,
like-
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That ain't happening. You know. I mean, unless all of a sudden, like, let's say at CAX, let's say at CAX, I have like 5 games for sale, and then all of a sudden I have like $3 or $4 grand, and I'm like, oh shit, who done it? Ooh, he's asking 2,800 for it. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. You know, it would have to be a scenario like that. I think.
Yeah, late on like a Friday or Saturday night where you're like a little bit drunk.
Drunk,
like,
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
get a lot of cash in your pocket.
That's always a good time to buy a pin.
No.
Man, I'm glad I bought this twister. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, DJ
right?
Flask, I would love to get BMX pinball, and yeah, good luck on that. I've never. So there was one at the show we went to in Banning. They had a BMX pinball there, but it wasn't working, or there was something wrong with it. And it seems like the gameplay is probably slow, which I would be like, it would just be an eye candy for me. But if there was a way to like kind of speed it up, I don't know if you'd like ultra wax the play field, maybe tilt the angle a little more. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Let people do that. Yeah.
It has, you know, me being like not a pinball expert, I like extra stuff. Like if it's got more than 2 flippers, you know, or an upper play
it's
field.
Like, it's like what we were talking about last week with the fucking total annihilation, how boring that is, and they want $6 grand plus for it.
Way too much money for that.
Oh
That's
God,
like $3 grand per flipper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, yeah.
That should be a $3,000.
It's got to be a per
game.
flipper value, right?
Yeah, because you know, I expect when you're paying thousands of dollars for a machine, I expect all kinds of bells and whistles and gadgets and gizmos. Like I want to see all kinds of toys and shit going on and interacting.
No,
Be like, oh, that's cool.
The other game, another pin that blew me away, and that was a few years ago at Pinagogo before it became the golden whatever. It was like a roller skate female kind of theme. I can't remember roller games or something.
Yeah, the roller games. I think that
was actually really fun.
It's supposed to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, like that seems like that would be like one that might be cheaper But
I think that's in the $3,000 or $4,000 range.
See, that's like no fucking way.
Yeah, maybe
I can't do
25. I don't know.
Oh God,
Yeah,
I need to go back like 10 years to where they were like 1,200 ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You got kids going to college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will say that there is that I think one era that kind of appeals to me. I know, Carrie, you like Funhouse. That kind of that generation diner. Some of them are really charming.
Those are fun.
Yeah,
Diner's awesome. Actually, or Taxi.
That's
a fun one.
I think the game I played the most
House.
back in the day was Pinbot. I mean,
Pinbot is killer.
Roadshow.
The late 80s.
Earthquaker, or whatever it is. That's fun.
Earthshaker.
Earthshaker, that's it. What's the one with the fan blows you
Whirlwind.
in the face? Whirlwind, that's awesome.
Oh yes.
too. Those are some good classic fun pins.
All right, quick vote.
That was
quick
like the
vote.
blink of an eye, right?
Do I have New Kids on the Hops, or do I have Poor Decisions with the unicorn on it?
You got to do the unicorn.
New Kids.
All right, so Poor Decisions it is.
Yeah.
I'd be embarrassed to go buy that in the store.
It almost, he's holding a, yes, exactly.
Not that
he's holding
one,
like
the
a
New Kids
can
one.
in his legs, but it almost looks like he's jerking off.
Oh, yeah.
The unicorn here. It's kind of like a little raunchy.
It's like the old school beer fags joke.
Beer fag.
That's not our joke. I'm just
It's not our joke. We didn't say it. We're repeating someone who said it. I can't even say that word. We shouldn't even say that word.
What, beer?
Beer?
Beer.
Yeah.
There's certain words we're just not allowed to say anymore. Can't say that. Can't say midget.
Can't say fag. Can't say midget. Can't say.
All right, I'll admit it. Okay, so I went to a concert.
What you mean behind it? It has nothing to do with the fucking word.
Yeah,
you need to get over their fucking selves.
Yeah,
I went to shit.
Yeah,
Who was the guy?
fucking retards.
There you go. No, I still use that.
Trigger and retards.
Mike Hess. So what was the band he was in? Hess. You guys don't know?
Who?
Yeah, that name's
Mike
familiar.
Hess or something like Hess. Shit.
Mike Hess?
I'm already drinking too much, so I can't remember now. I went to this concert in Tulsa, and it was this band playing. I was with my buddy Big Island, and I don't know why. I was already drinking, and we were standing in line waiting at the bar to get another beer, and there was I think a couple in front of me. The girl was, I'll say, normal height, and the guy was extra short, dwarf. I don't know. I was not saying anything. I just had a permagrin on my face, and I don't know. I couldn't help it. I was like staring at him. I was just happy. I'm like, he just looks like he'd be fun to hang out with. Like, I didn't say anything. I'm just like standing there, like kind of staring at him, kind of grinning. And man, she just gave me the freaking stink eye. His girlfriend, like, why are you looking at? She didn't say anything.
He doesn't have a small penis.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
Hot dog down an alley.
Pretty much.
Down a hallway.
Ooh,
that was a sharp one.
down an octave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's down one.
Wow.
Do we have what other arcade news do we have? Anything else?
I have a little bit of follow up from my from last week when I was talking about my ZooQ woes. I can just give a quick update because I'm sure everyone all week was like, "What is it that's going on with Carrie's ZooQ? Why is it that the green isn't in her monitor?" But other times,
yes, that's right.
It's just green, and then sometimes there's game sounds, and there aren't game sounds other times. And I thought at first it was linked with whether or not there was green, because you know how it goes. It all ends up being very superstitious. Like, oh, when I see green on the monitor, I don't have game sounds. So after messing around with it a lot, and I thought for sure, I was just like, this has got to be wiring harness, because it's just so screwy. It's got to be wiring harness. But on kind of a whim of sorts, I decided before I went through the pain, I actually ordered a new wiring harness. It arrived yesterday, but before I decided to go through all the pain of installing, hey there, Mark.
Mark,
Damn.
Yo.
I'll just finish this up very quickly. Before I just went through all the pain and anguish of rewiring the cabinet, I decided I'd toss a different power supply in there, because the power supply that was in there originally had a high, the 12 volt was high, like my 5 volt, beautiful, but the 12 volt was high. And I couldn't get it down low. I couldn't get it below like 13.75 kind of thing. Like it was constantly quite high. And, what I should have done also, but so anyway, I'll just say that I swapped out power supplies, and it was power. That
So
cleared it up.
voltage issues.
Yeah,
Weird.
It was, and what's really weird is that board actually doesn't use the 12 volt. Had I looked at that ahead of time, I could have just fucking disconnected that one rather than changing the entire power supply out and clipping all of the little zip ties that held everything, making it look all so pretty. So now I have this massive wiring in there, and it's all yucky. But yeah, I didn't actually look at that ahead of time. That would have been knowledge after the fact. But I have a working ZooQ, so we're focusing on that part and not the fact that I could have just disconnected that wire on my one.
Shit, I wasn't ready for the sound effect.
You see where Mark is?
Yeah. Where are you, Mark?
All right, Mark.
La cucaracha.
Go ahead and present Mark, and let's hear him for a second.
Time Runner, where are you on planet Earth?
He's presented.
I can't hear him though.
You're
muted. You're muted.
You're muted, Mark.
Stop it.
Can we unmute him?
He has to unmute himself.
Oh, Mark, you have to unmute. He's at
he's at Space Mountain. He's at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He's at
his
live
signal's
Disneyland
gonna go out,
or Disney World, I'm assuming.
No, that's Disneyland, I think.
Is it Disneyland?
Yeah.
Dude, Space Mountain
Nice.
terrifies me. I swear to God, it's gonna fucking hit me in the head.
No, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's so fucking-
Yeah, they went to Star Wars thing.
I never knew it was in the dark.
Oh, it's all in the dark. It's terrifying.
No, you know what scared me the most?
Hey, Andrew, did you know? Here's a Disney secret. In Space Mountain, they have fans set up all through the whole ride, and they blow in your face to make it feel like you're going faster than you are.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's a secret.
What if they have bad breath? Does it stink really bad, or
they're gonna kick Mark out of there now that you've said that out loud?
No, he's unmuted.
Oh, we hear you.
Hey.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Sorry, we're like in the so it's like difficult to vlog with you guys that way.
Did you go on the Star Wars ride?
What's that?
You on the Star Wars ride?
No, this is Hyperspace Mountain. So
No, I know. Did you go on Smuggler's Run yet?
tomorrow from 5 to 9.
Okay.
How long
All
did you
right.
wait in line for the Space Mountain ride?
Yeah, how long?
So it's
how long did you wait in line on the ride you're in now?
They're still waiting.
for 20 minutes.
Oh,
20
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that
Everybody's at Star Wars.
bad. It's like loud in here. Have you been in Hyperspace Mountain, everybody? I'm sure.
Yes.
Wait, was there urban legends that someone lost, like had their hands cut off on this ride one time?
Oh, geez.
I'm sure that's happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
100% sure that happened.
I'm sure.
The crazy
While
twisty
they were
ride,
masturbating.
and there's like railings above you, and you stick your hands up super high.
And they
You just
knock
like lop them right off. Yeah.
I've never slouched so hard in my life as riding that ride.
Yes. I recall hearing stories of that in like the early 80s as a kid.
They should have one of those things. It's like you're too tall to ride this ride.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you guys.
Decapitations may
Yeah,
happen.
just scalped.
Let's see how long his phone lasts.
It's so terrible for the person behind me.
I hope I don't lose my hands.
My skull. And
Yes.
That would.
How crowded is it?
Is that Crafty Mac?
With the striped shirt. Crafty!
We're gonna split so that you guys can continue with your.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks for checking in. Have fun.
All right. Have fun,
Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao.
Ding dong day.
Oh, they look like crafty from the back.
Yeah.
As soon as he turned his head ever so slightly, it was like, oh no, that's
yeah,
not,
great, great
that's maybe crafty in
preparation
30
for their
years.
experience. Yeah,
he's the third wheel.
I like Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. She's on her phone. She's like, leave me alone. Hey there, Dave from Buffalo. How are you doing?
Dave.
You know, I'm getting flashbacks from Space Mountain because when I first rode that in Orlando, I did not know it was in the dark, and I wasn't scared as much for me. But my daughter was very young, and 4 people stopped us in the line before to see if she was the right height. Like she just made it, and I'm on the ride, and the whole time I thought she was going to get thrown out. So, and I couldn't see her because she was behind me. And I remember looking back, and I was having like a heart attack, thinking, and I was scared to death just because it was in the fucking dark, and I did not know it was in the dark. And I'm like, and I thought she was going to be thrown out, and I couldn't even see her. And then my wife was pregnant with my son. And she shouldn't even rode that, and she did. And then afterwards, she's like, "Why did I ride this? Like this was a bad idea." Everything worked out, obviously, but it was, it was.
But it could have been better, maybe.
Yeah. But I was very, very scared for my daughter because everybody looked, and I'm like, "She's not big enough. She shouldn't have been on this." Like, because everyone's like, "Well, hold on." And they did the stick. Okay, hold on. Like she just made it.
And thankfully, your son wants to be an astronaut now, right?
I know.
Well, that actually reminds me of the very first roller coaster I ever rode with. I was the same thing, but I was like a noodly, skinny little kid, but I was very, very tall for my age. And so, same thing. Like, I went at my first roller coaster, and I was like literally, like my head just brushed the top of like the, Wile E. Coyote's hand or whatever that I had to walk under to verify your height. And originally, I was supposed to go in a car with my brother, and my mom and dad were going to ride together, but it ended up getting kind of swapped around, and I ended up riding with my mom. And she said, and I only have vague recollections of this, I had a great time. I thought it was amazing. It was the best thing ever. I want to do it again. She said she spent the entire ride terrified that my shoulders would basically, like, through the up things, that I was like squirming out of the seat.
Oh, the harness.
Yeah. And basically I spent like every time you go up, like I was off the seat, and just the only thing that was holding me down was like the shitty things for your shoulders. And she was sitting there pushing down on my shoulders and on my thighs the entire time to try and keep me in my seat. She said it was the worst fucking experience of her life.
Oh.
And she was like, "Oh my God, if I had sent you with your brother, you probably would have flown out of this thing." Because it's not just the height, but it's also just like being like a little, wafy little kid. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's kind of like a car accident when you're going to hit the force. Like your mom, she thinks she was holding you down. Yeah. She's not going to do much.
She's probably not doing a whole lot. Well, I mean,
mentally.
She wasn't holding me in the seat, but she was keeping me, like not going up and squirming through, so she's holding on. So I don't know. I thought it was fucking ton. I want to do it again.
No,
she's like, "No fucking way, you're not. Go ride some teacups."
My daughter did it again when we went back, and then she's like, "No, I don't like that." She's younger, it was the whole thing. Then I don't want to go on that. And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. It's fine with me. Your dad's a pussy. He does not." I did it once, and it was a horrible experience. But it was because I did not know it was in the dark. And I'm like, "Wait, this is the fucking dark." Like, what?
You don't know when the turns are coming and all that.
Yeah. Don't they have like special events where they'll turn the lights on and let you ride it too?
No, what they do is they do different theming of it. So they project different weird stuff on the walls and stuff. Like they have one of a space monster like tries to grab you, and you see an eyeball floating in space, looking around and looking at you. It's a little creepy, weird.
Ooh, like I Robot.
Shit to make little kids even more scared and shit their pants.
Don't jump. Yeah.
Don't get a boner.
They do that around they do that around October. I'll do that.
I don't know if I told this. I don't know if I told the story, but my only.
I like the delay.
It'll keep you on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Keep you stuck to the seat.
That's right. I sit on my balls.
Way to bring it all the way back.
What kind of G-force did that erection take?
That's right.
So I don't know if I told the story, but my only horror story I had at Disneyland, I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, and
Little
you know, yep. So I was there with my family, mom, dad, my brother. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and it was kind of near where the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is. It's kind of like an open walking area, and then you can see the body of water, the lake kind of thing, and then across from that's the island where the Tom Sawyer stuff was. Remember that?
Yep.
So it was kind of in that area. It was about noonish, and a guy comes walking by with a cart, like one of the employees has like a cart with like popsicles and snacks and stuff. And so my brother and I were both like, "Ooh, we want a popsicle. We want a popsicle." Like we wouldn't stop, So our parents bought us each one, and he takes it out, the popsicle, and I go to lick it, and it was like on the whatever that ice, the dry ice.
Oh,
so it was like super frozen cold, and it stuck to my tongue. Like I could not get it off my tongue. It was stuck on my tongue, and I'm like totally crying. Like I couldn't get it off my tongue.
Worst popsicle ever.
Yeah, and my dad actually, I remember this. I mean, I was like 5 or 6. It was like one of my first memories, and my dad actually had to like try to lick it next to my tongue to try to get it off my tongue.
Spitting in your mouth.
Pretty much, yeah. And so he finally got it off, and my tongue's swollen and all that. I'm just like crying for like 15 minutes after.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my scary.
You were Ralphie before Ralphie.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Yeah, that was probably 76, 77, somewhere around there.
Crazy memory.
Dog dare you.
But I remember going on that island though. That was a blast. It was like a Tom Sawyer Island kind of thing,
I
right?
remember that one. Yep.
And for little kids, you just like run all around up in the hills and like checking all these little coves to climb in and stuff.
Do you remember it was Disneyland? Do you remember driving those boats with the big wheel? Because I saw them like that. They probably would have had them when you were, or was that before you? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't really remember though. I do remember. The other thing I remember was, so back then it was there was like a submarine ride that goes under the water, right? And you can kind of see stuff out of the windows.
Yeah.
Well, when I went there in 2007, the last time I went, they changed it to Finding Nemo or something. They rethemed it to Finding Nemo.
Yeah, they changed it.
So my kids, actually, I think it was Luke, my younger son. So we were there with another family. Their younger son was the same age as my younger son. So the two dads and the two younger sons went out like later, like 9 p.m. or something. And we're like, let's go, the lines are shorter. And so we go to climb in this thing, and I'm a big guy, I'm like, holy shit, that was like claustrophobia, man. Like climbing down in that thing, I'm like, oh my God, this is tight. Like going in that submarine, it's like you can't be more than like 180 pounds, I'd say, but I did it. I pulled it off, but man, it was a little freaky. I'm like, holy shit, this is tight. Yeah. Not at all like I remember it being a little, 80-pound 8-year-old, Yeah.
So growing up in California, did you go to Disneyland a lot? Like, is that far from?
Well, we talked about this earlier. So for me, it was we lived in Burbank until about 1979, 1980.
That's real close.
I was about 8 or 9 years old. So yeah, we were an hour and a half drive from there. So yeah, we were close. We go at least a couple times a year, up until I was about 9-ish.
35.
Oh. Yeah. But after then, I've only been maybe 4 times or something.
I'm about 45 minutes from it. Nice to go a lot.
Nice.
It's just so expensive now. That's what we were talking about earlier, is how pricey Disneyland is. And yeah, it was fun to be able to go.
$200 for one day, right? Just to walk.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I used to bring like my own lunch and stuff with my daughter, because that was back when I was a broke ass fuck. And we would get the year pass and all that, and I would pack a lunch and snacks, and we wouldn't buy all the crud that's there because it's so expensive and stuff. But yeah, we would go 3 or 4 times a year, and it was a fun thing to do with the kid.
You could actually afford a season pass back then, If you go like more than like 3 or 4 times, it makes it worth it, right?
Yeah, you want to do that so it makes it worth it, but then you get real sick of the park.
Yeah.
So, but now the kid loves it though.
Do you remember back in the day, you used to have, it was a ticket stub thing, and it had letters.
Yeah.
It had like letters on it, and so you basically only got to go to your section once, and they tore off the stub or something like that.
All the rides took a ticket, and the big rides took e-tickets, and you only had 2 tickets of those in the booklet. And the shitty rides were like the
A and the B. Yeah.
Okay, they were better. Yeah.
I know, and I still use that expression every once in a while, like, "Ooh, that's an e-ticket," and I'm like,
and nobody knows what that means anymore.
There you go.
Right?
But
Exactly.
That's a Disneyland reference.
That's totally a Disneyland. Yeah, I remember at the end.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
That's like a whole totally
that's true. That sounds like drug culture. Yeah, I remember. You'd have like at the end of the time, you'd have like a bunch of these
electronic, but yeah.
Oh.
It's all right, Molly. Go ahead. Keep talking.
But I remember like we'd have like a bunch of the A tickets left. That would be like the Snow White.
You'd always have a ton of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have a drawer full of them, and you grab them all for next time you go to Disneyland. Okay, we got a bunch of C tickets that got to go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I think the C ticket was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which was usually
all those kind of rides. All the dark rides in Fantasyland were was it A tickets and A and was it A and B?
I remember it was. I think it was like the Snow White one was like an A.
Yeah,
ticket. Like, it was like
So did you get a ticket for like each ride? Like, did you do enough to go on every ride? Like you had
for a section. It was.
There used to be ticket booths all over the park, and you had to buy tickets to ride the rides.
Oh, it wasn't unlimited. It wasn't unlimited. It was
you got a book full of tickets, and then
they changed it in the 80s.
Yeah, with the different kinds. So you had the different rides had depending on what kind of ticket you got, and so if you could buy them individually, or usually it was. I think it was for us. It was like once the book was done, it's like, all right, here we go, and we do the same thing of packing the food and all that.
And I don't think you could buy a ticket. Like you couldn't go up to the ticket booth and say, I just want an e-ticket. You had to buy another whole ticket booth, ticket book. So. Yeah, if you want to go on the big rides, like Matterhorn was the big ride, back in the day. That was an e-ticket, So you rode that once or twice, and that's it.
So, and like with Pirates, a D or was it an E?
That was a middle of the road ticket. I think.
Yeah, maybe that was like
wasn't an E. I don't think. Yeah, I think it was a C or something. But okay, so some of the ticket booths are still at Disneyland. Like, if you ever go to Fantasyland and go to Alice in Wonderland, right next to the ride, there's a giant mushroom that used to be a ticket booth, and they just closed it off. But that used to be a giant ticket booth. But it's such a cool prop to how they have the giant leaves and everything. They just sealed off the door, and it's not a ticket booth.
I always wondered about Disney. I've been to Disney World a few times, but I always thought Disneyland, like, there's so much history, and it's going to be like original and old, and that's what I saw in Pawn Stars. Like, I forgot, because there was a guy, they had the big wheels where people would drive remote control boats, like the African Queen or 20 or whatever it was. It was like the big pond where they would drive these boats that were like, ooh, wow, remote control boats. And I thought there was so much history in Disneyland. I always kind of wanted to see it. I don't know if it's all like, screw it, it's gone, and we just made everything new, the same.
Yeah, a lot of it's gone. Like, they don't have the boats anymore. They still have Autotopia, but they're slated to remove it in 2020 to put in the Tron ride. So that's on the chopping block, and so is Innovations, that area, that spinning building. They're going to tear that out, and they're going to make some big changes to Tomorrowland.
Well, it's kind of Disneyland's kind of like a giant version of our hobby, like these old Miss Pac-Man games. Eventually, no one really wants to play it, and they got to replace it with a freaking
something newer
Area
and better,
51 or whatever it was.
No one's waiting 6 hours to play this.
And they paint the ride. They paint the sides of the ride black, and then they put a new marquee on it.
Yep, exactly. New decals.
Oh shit!
On vinyl decals.
Pretty much.
Disney World, the only place you can get like dinner for 4. We had hot dogs and fries. This was $70
for hot dogs and fries.
And it's packed, and it's packed. and like, oh my god, how much money are people spending here? Like, this is crazy. This is what they're getting. Even if they have like the food pass, I'm like, this was like, my wife's like, how much is this? Is like $70. Like,
Crazy.
I wonder what the daily take is there.
It's
insane.
Mock, you were saying like what 16?
That was just on the lightsaber attraction.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Raking in.
Yeah, you were saying like
$168,000 a day.
On one ride,
on one thing.
Times that by a year,
and that doesn't include the ticket they paid to get in there. The $200 they paid to get in this,
or the food. That's garbage when you eat it there. Most of the food's crappy there. It really is. It's hard to find good food at Disneyland. It's not that.
So, do you guys remember the story of? So they became Jackass, but it used to be Big Brother.
I love that story.
Big Brother. Big Brother was the skate magazine. And they do these crazy interviews and stunts in Big Brother, and it was Steve-O, Jackass, and they were doing an interview with Slayer, the band Slayer. And they purposely set it up to where they were interviewing him at Disneyland. So like the Slayer, the most, whatever, satanic or whatever band on the happiest place on earth kind of thing, right? And so it was that submarine ride I talked about with the Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
So Steve-O, he strips down naked and jumps off of a bridge thing onto the side.
Water?
Into the water on the side of the submarine. So people are looking out the window. They see this naked guy swimming around.
Oh, no.
So he got arrested or whatever, but it made for a freaking crazy story in that magazine. And that was probably like 5 or 10 years before Jackass.
That's what
guy was always like.
There's a documentary on that magazine. It's really good.
Big Brother, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my God, they go through all old footage because they used to film a lot of everything they did on their tours and all the things that happened at the magazine place, and they talk about the articles that they would write. It's a really good documentary.
They started filming it, like the stunts they would do for the magazine, and then they would make a DVD or whatever.
Yep.
And then eventually that became Jackass.
Pretty much. It kind of all.
But yeah,
Jeff Tremaine came from that magazine,
and so he was a BMXer way back in the '80s, and then became part of the skate scene. But so they filmed an episode of it was called Road to the X Games. It was a ESPN thing. When I was at Hoffman Bikes, they came through there and they filmed a commercial, and that was the only time I ever met Johnny Knoxville, and I didn't know who he was at the time. But he was part of these crazy guys to film some stupid commercial for ESPN. So we gave him a bunch of Hoffman Bike shirts. And then like fast forward maybe 6 months later, he's doing the photo shoot for Big Brother where he wears a bulletproof vest and someone actually shoots him with real bullets. And that was like one of the early Jackass
I saw that one, yeah.
So he's actually wearing Hoffman Bike shirts, or a Hoffman Bike shirt that we gave him from that when we did the commercial.
Underneath the bulletproof vest.
What's that?
Like underneath the bulletproof vest?
Oh, over the top of the bulletproof vest.
The top of it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he gets fully shot in the chest from 10 feet away or whatever. It's crazy.
Oh, that is crazy.
It's kind of funny because I wish I could find the video of that, but they filmed the commercial at the Hoffman warehouse when I was there, and we were all extras for this scene. And it was like, I swear, like a split second, like maybe 2 seconds, I'm on film. And I had to sign up with I forgot what they call this. No, it was like a union. It's like an actor screen guild, something or other.
SAG.
I had to sign all these documents with that, and they actually had to pay me. They paid me $75 for this like 1 second scene that there was like 10 of us in for that commercial. But I wish I could find it. But I mean, that was like 20 years ago, so 25 years ago. But yeah, that's that time I met Johnny Knoxville. Anyway, so
that's cool.
Yeah, crazy times.
I was in a documentary, a Disney documentary, on that adventure through inner space, and someone posted it on YouTube and sent me.
I remember you talking about that. Like you created a YouTube channel Or you created a video on YouTube, right?
Yeah, well, I made a recreation of that shrinking ride that used to be where Star Tours is. It's called Adventure Through Inner Space.
Okay.
But I was invited to be in a documentary about the ride, and they interview like Imagineers that created it and stuff. A lot of the Imagineers came from working on Haunted Mansion and things like that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put a post in IRC. But if you jump to
post that Slack, because I won't. I'll catch it tomorrow.
Okay.
I won't be able to do that right now.
But if you jump to 21 minutes, you can see me a young mock.
Oh, how cool!
From like how many years ago?
2004 or something.
Okay. 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was actually wearing glasses back
when
then,
you could maintain an erection.
For more than 4 hours
without having to take a shit.
Or didn't take a shit to get.
Didn't have to do that. Yeah, I actually wore glasses back then, but they asked me to take them off.
Dude, that's so funny because like at 21 minutes and like. Just at 20 minutes, there's like an old dude with glasses.
No, that's not me. It's 21 minutes, 30 seconds or something.
30 seconds.
Yeah. So I haven't had LASIK.
Oh, shit.
LASIK.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I haven't had LASIK yet, but that's my ride in the background behind me that I recreated.
You're in there a couple times.
Yeah, I'm in the documentary a few times in it, but that was fun. I actually had to drive to Burbank and meet up with the creator and stuff.
You had so much hair.
Yeah, I still have a lot of hair.
I'm just kidding.
What'd you say? 21 minutes? 30?
30. 21.
I'm in it all the way through, but that's like if you wanted to see.
Oh, okay.
21 minutes, 30 something seconds.
Look at that guy.
Who's that young guy?
Scrapping land.
Wait, hey guys.
I like boobies and big round butts and.
If you take a shit, I'm gonna get a boner.
I like to take shits.
Wait, Steve. I think you've aged better because this doesn't look anything
I was talking about.
That's the guy. That guy's really famous. He created a lot of the music from. Haunted Mansion and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look like Max. You found the phone of youth. You got
That's Intencio. I think he's dead now.
I'm glad you no longer need glasses. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice stash.
Yeah. So that was a fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
was that like your first time like being recorded
for a movie, for a documentary? Yeah,
they brought me super nervous.
They brought me into a studio and they put a sticker on the wall and they go, look at the sticker, pretend you're talking to a person. And then they just ask me questions and I would just answer them. Yeah, it's like what's that called? 3/4 view shot or something. I forget.
Oh, yes.
How old are you?
It's like you don't actually look in the camera.
Is this older than that?
This is 2004.
So, it says published 13. This date. Am I looking at the same thing?
That's when he uploaded it. But this documentary came out a long time ago for the web, and you could like purchase it and get a videotape, and that's how old it is, you know.
So you've been great.
DVD or
then
VHS.
check and wait 6 to 8 weeks.
Like my striped shirt.
Yeah, to make you look taller, right?
How many UPC codes did you have to send away?
It's elongating.
Yeah.
I actually do.
Was that a pre-MAME video?
Yes, it was. It's before the MAME craze.
Before arcades ate you.
Mark, how many UPC codes did you have to send away to get this? It's one of those VHS.
You had to eat a lot of Captain Crunch.
It's like one of those like 15-minute VHS tapes where there's only like that much. It's like just really light.
All right, Andrew, I'm calling you out. Now you got to find your video. We're talking about old videos we've been in. There was some like surf snowboard movie you were in or something.
Ski movie, yeah.
Ski movie.
But I mean, like Steve, like I don't know if that movie's on. It's Aspen Extreme is the movie.
Oh, I know that movie.
There you go.
I saw it in the theater actually.
So
shit.
But yeah, no, I was an extra on the same thing. So I did like I think it was 2 or 3 days. I did that. It was like $75 a day, just like you got.
Right.
I got nothing.
But yeah, at some point, what's goofy is like I was totally like kind of like a tortured youth, but I'm wearing like a trench coat, so I'm really easy to pick out against the snow because like the scene that I actually made it into the film in, I'm like it's like the end of the movie and everyone's like cheering for like the guy that did the amazing ski run and everyone's gonna win and it's like a happy story, but like you see this like it's small. But like, yeah, it's like as a dude totally wearing a trench coat against the snow. Maybe.
So you're in there for like just a couple.
I wonder if it's
It's,
on
it's a
YouTube.
flash. It totally is like a flash, like when he's
Is
like
it on?
into the end of the fucking.
Is it in YouTube? Have you looked to see if someone posted the
it
whole
is-
movie?
Is Aspen Extreme?
It might be on there.
Assbusters Extreme.
It was like a teen
That would be the porn
TNA
version.
movie, wasn't it?
Nice.
If I remember right?
It wasn't TNA, I don't think.
It wasn't.
I don't think so.
Wasn't it like what?
It was like a cheesy
ski movie.
It was totally a cheesy ski movie. But I mean, like,
it had hot girls.
So like
in it
you know,
and-
hot
Yeah, a
tub
little
time
bit.
machine.
That's what I remember.
Without the time machine.
Aspen Extreme movie.
Hey, is everybody else seeing Dave from Buffalo's?
Oh, Aspen Extreme ending.
His what?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I just see no. I'm.
Yes,
It
yes,
looks
it's
okay.
stuck on him.
Okay, very good.
Oh boy, I actually might be able to find it. All right, give me 1 second.
Ooh.
All
They're
right.
doing this like stupid synchronized skiing thing. It's gonna take me a minute. They're wearing fucking.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if you're in the credits.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not in the credits. All right, so shit.
We lost Jim.
Yeah.
I can see the
Oh,
scene
he's
that I'm
back.
in. Now I have to like figure out like what
Refreshing
frame I would be in.
Carrie.
Hmm?
If you still see just Dave
Yep.
refreshing my window.
I just see his chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So just
Yeah.
refresh. Okay.
Yeah, just refresh. You'll pop back in.
Oh. Oh, okay. Now I see Dave. Chair.
I see
Dave's
London.
chair.
I see friends. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yay, that's all better. Thank you.
Shit, now I gotta refresh because now I'm frozen on his
On his chair.
Well, I assume everyone was or is or
It
was.
wasn't until Carrie refreshed.
Until I
Now
mentioned
my
it.
turn.
Yep.
Take one down, pass it around.
Nice.
I just lost Gak.
Yeah, he's refreshing.
Here is
Oh.
gift for you. It's chocolate penis. Very tasty and delicious.
All right, who's next now?
Yeah, right.
Get the
Now who's
frozen
next?
Dave chair.
Yeah, there's Mark.
Andrew's the only one left.
Wait, what?
And
did I do?
Dave will come in and he'll be like, "All I can see is me."
Yeah.
Yay.
Wait,
Oh, it happened to you too, Mark?
Here.
Yeah. Who's
Wait,
next?
Yeah.
We're supposed to refresh if we see Dave's chair. What's going on?
If the screen
It'll
locks
suck.
on
It'll-
just Dave's chair, then
Oh,
you can't
no.
see anything
Yeah.
else.
No, it didn't lock.
All I see is
Yeah, we-
me.
Oh,
So-
then it's Andrew's fault.
So do we have a time code or anything where we can see Andrew on
I'm
this
trying.
movie?
I'm looking through it right now. It's this really crappy recording. It looks like someone holding their fucking Steadicam like against their TV trying to record it.
Oh no!
One of
Filmed,
those.
filmed with a potato.
And it's just
It was
yeah,
such,
totally.
It was
It's just
such a
the
hot,
end of the movie.
hot movie that someone. It's an early cam recording. From
Yeah,
the
it's like
theater.
voyeur vision. Right?
Don't you hate that where they're holding it? It's like shaking around, and so they
Yeah,
don't even put it on a
it's super
fucking book,
crappy.
a
You
stack of
hear a
books or
dog
something.
barking in the background. Nice and
That'd be
When
if I
you coming
recorded
to
it.
bed, Charlie?
Yeah. Vacuum cleaner
Leave me
like every
alone.
freaking
Yeah.
conference call I've ever been on.
God, this
Stop
movie
fiddling
sucks.
with that thing, Howard.
Yeah. Don't forget to take out the trash.
Christopher.
Leave me alone, Ma. I'm busy.
Nice.
Is it at the end of the movie?
It's
Andrew,
at the
you
very
said?
end. It's yeah, because like the whole shot was shot at the base of the mountain, and I can see the tent, which actually is funny. So like they have a tent at the bottom, which is where like craft service was set up. So that's where we ate and shit.
Oh.
So I saw that. So I'm trying to find. I mean, it really is just a split second.
I'm gonna 8x10 it.
I'll see if I'll save
Add it to your wall,
I'll
Jim.
save this clip and maybe I'll send it to Slack. It's really not
There we go.
exciting.
I'm gonna poster it. Yeah. Put on my ceiling.
It's this pixelated, full of
Andrew-
artifacts, and
in a trench coat. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it really is. It's in a big black trench coat.
You still have that coat?
I don't still have that coat now. So this is locked for me, like as if I'm presenting. So I assume that's not what you guys are seeing.
No.
Yeah, when other people talk, it goes off your screen.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna
Awesome.
keep an eye out for Aspen Extreme on like Netflix and shit.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
Then we can really like examine
The high res
Exactly.
version.
Yeah.
the high res
Yeah.
version of Andrew.
If
Yeah.
only they had a Blu-ray,
Blu-ray. Yeah.
4K version of this movie.
They have a Betamax.
A 34K version of this movie.
Yes. It's probably too late to talk about
They
this.
didn't even
but
make
let's-
TVs for that yet.
But let's sidebar it, note it for next week if we don't talk about it
Laser
tonight, is,
disc.
Yeah, I was gonna say laser disc.
Endgame, right? You guys,
Yeah.
Carrie finally saw it.
Yeah, Carrie saw it. Did
And
you
then
like
The
it?
Mist.
Yeah.
The Mist.
The Mist,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we got to talk
so
about that.
Yeah, so that'll be the okay, people. We're going to talk about it next week. This is your
Yep.
chance to watch it.
Yeah,
You have
warning,
1 week.
spoilers ahead.
And
So we're gonna
then-
watch. We're
then
gonna
there'll be
spoil
spoilers.
the shit out of Endgame and The Mist.
Which is
Yep.
available on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it
me
is.
too.
Okay.
The Mist is on
Well,
Netflix?
Oh,
No.
maybe it's not. Never mind.
No, it's not.
I had to, yeah.
Maybe
never mind.
I rented it
Amazon
from
Prime.
I had to too, Andrew.
Yeah.
I mean, the fucking movie's been out for years. I mean,
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think we're
Had a
worried
lot
about
of time.
they
spoiling
have
the
a
movie.
week to figure out how to find it if they want
The
to see
CG
it.
in that was very reminiscent of Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, it's
Wait, you mean
Oh,
like Citizen
Dreamcatcher.
Kane dies at the end? You spoiled it. You
you mean
fucker.
Marty gets back to the future?
Yeah.
You sit on my house.
Oh, think I'm fading. I'm going.
Yeah.
All right, let's
it's
call it a
fine.
Yeah.
night.
Shall we?
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
see you next
Everyone,
week.
look up Aspen Extreme, The Mist, and if you haven't watched Endgame, you're a loser by this
Yeah.
point. So
Oh.
No,
Or
Don't
catching
listen
up
to
on
the
all the
show.
other
We're gonna
movies.
spoil the fuck out of it.
Jimbo's seen it like 4 times. So come on.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
Somebody,
Endgame,
the rest of the world had to have seen it at least once at this
I
point.
mean, it made like $1 trillion, so I'm sure everybody's
Yes.
seen it by now.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for you losers.
So we'll have to put that in the disclaimer after Carrie's disclaimer. We'll say, and we're going to talk about Endgame. So if you haven't seen the movie, get the fuck out.
And The Mist.
And
And The Mist.
And we'll run that disclaimer at the end of the show.
Yeah, it's too late.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
I'll be just saying good night. I hate to go and